What's up, YouTube? We're talking about how to reprogram your brain to make more money on today's podcast. You're behind the scenes. We got Twitter live, YouTube. We're about to go live everywhere, but let's do Facebook real quick. By the way, stay to the end. Kate, what do you got to give away at the end to one person?
Some money. Well,
we'll do money during the thing.
And a MacBook Air for someone who stays till the end.
MacBook Air. Who wants a MacBook Air? Okay, look this way. What's up, Facebook? You're behind the scenes of my podcast, giving away some cash. And what are we giving away at the end, Kate? To one lucky winner yesterday. A guy on YouTube, I think, won it. We're about to go live, but you're behind the scenes, and I got to go live on Instagram. Here we go. Ready. What's up, Instagram? Instagram, giving away a laptop, giving away free money, and you're behind the scenes of my new podcast episode today. Thank you, Zack. Zack's running sound effects. We're going to be talking about how to reprogram your brain to make more money. Who here makes enough money, doesn't want to make any more? You got to reprogram your brain. I want to be talking about this book. Actually, let me get started on the official. Are we ready to go? Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome to today's podcast radio episode. We are talking about how to reprogram your brain to make more money. Yes. We got Zack on the sound effects. We have Kate is here. She's giving away a MacBook Air. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So if you're listening to the podcast, you're missing out on the live. And we have a special guest today, Dr. Harman Garcia Fresco. He is a neuroscientist, spent 12 years studying the brain. So a lot of people talk about the brain, don't know what they're talking about. Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, hold on. I can just pivot right here.
Yeah, me and Ty are a little jealous that we don't get
you
the
and
phones.
Zack.
I mean, me and Zack.
Me and Zack.
We don't get the phones.
But I could see how you were confused.
So let's start talking about this book, Beat the Crowd by Ken Fisher. So this is a stock market guy. Beat the Crowd, Ken Fisher. You probably see him in magazines. He advertises a lot. He manages like $1 or $2 billion for people. Now here's the deal. This book is basically explaining why if you follow the media, if you follow mainstream advice, in his opinion, you're always going to be making less money than you should be making, especially if you invest. Even if you're not investing, if you don't have enough money, it's still the principle that we're going to talk about. We're also going to talk about these brain pills right here. I'm holding a brain pill called Neuro 67. Dr. Fresco developed it. I'm an investor in the company, and I want to talk about do brain pills work? Who's seen the movie Limitless?
Me.
Did you see Limitless?
Yep, I did.
Fun movie.
Limitless. The question is, now I sent Dr. Fresco a book I was reading, Super Intelligence, which I talked about in the last podcast. And basically, yeah, there it is. Thank you, Kate. This book says that the problem with brain pills is that evolution has already pushed our brains as far as you can push. One little pill's not going to make the difference. But some people disagree. So we're going to talk to Harman on that. Is there such a thing as a limitless pill, which would make you be able to calculate stocks quickly, would be able to allow you to see trends, would have your brain and your focus working 10 times faster? Adderall. Yeah, people take. Let's talk for 1 second. How does Adderall work in the brain, Dr. Fresco?
What do you mean how it works?
Like what's the process? What is it doing that makes you focus more?
It just increases neurotransmitter reuptake. It increases the... Adderall is a drug, so it's not... The difference between Adderall and these kind of supplements that you're going to be talking about is that is a prescribed drug. It affects your neurotransmitter release, or it affects your neurotransmitter manufacturing process in your brain.
Yeah.
So different drugs that affect differently.
So it's more powerful than just a supplement.
Yes.
That's why you need a prescription.
Yes. So for prescription drugs, you need obviously a doctor to prescribe it.
But I'm saying, is that the limitless pill? Is Adderall the limitless pill?
None of them are like limitless. You don't have any of them that are as good as it as you know the movie depicts it. But I'm going to tell you one thing. There is a lot of things in your brain that could be so much better. If you look like at a savant or some of those people that can...
Like Rain Man.
That tells you that your brain has the capabilities of doing stuff like that, right? So you can give somebody something that's like, hey, count, you know, the matches or memorize every word in a book. They can. Your brain can. The problem is, and that's why evolution... the book you were reading was saying that you can't really do that at this point because evolution maxed out. It sacrifices other parts.
Right, like social skills.
For example, social skills. So a lot of these people have these amazing brains that they can do these crazy calculations, but now it sacrificed the social part, or they can't really hold a normal job because, you know, their thinking process is not there. So my take on this, or my theory, is that eventually we will be able to unlock those areas of the brain while maintaining, let's say, social.
So we won't have to trade off.
Like
I knew
people with Asperger's.
Yeah, Asperger.
Yes.
If you look at some of the most successful business people, Bill Gates, not Warren Buffett, but definitely Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. There, you know, some of these, like Elon Musk, I've had an interesting conversation with. He's I don't know how I would describe Elon Musk. He's not complete. He was probably a nerd growing up. He's not the most socially fluent. He's a little awkward. He's not horrible. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs said he had to teach himself. But he, in some ways, is not a pure savant. Harman's talking about these idiot savants. That's what they're called, technically, idiot savants, where your brain, you know, I had a math teacher, Mr. Robinson, when I went to Enloe in North Carolina. And he said the way he got his wife to marry him, he impressed her he brought her a phone book. He said, tear any page out of this right now. So she tore a page out of the white pages. She handed it to him. He said, give it to me for 1 minute. And he just stared at it for 1 minute. Then he gave back to her and he said, pick a number on there or a name and I'll tell you the opposite. So she picked the number and he said the name of the person. On a page it had, 250 numbers and names. And
I thought you were going to say he had figured out how to make it spell "Will you marry me?"
Oh, thank you, Zack. We need the joke sound box.
Oh, dang it!
You gotta hold the sound
box. I
box.
gotta figure this whole thing out. We're just gonna have to get a little bit more.
Zack is learning. We bought an app We bought an app and a device that Zack can do stupid sounds.
Still testing it out.
Do the Scooby Doo one.
Oh, I don't know what that one is.
What do you mean the Scooby? The one that goes.
I gotta go find it.
That's Scooby Doo.
Man, you keep trying to scroll through this thing, and your finger hits.
Okay, let's do our first giveaway. This is our first giveaway. Somebody said this country is retarded because weed is illegal. Harman, as a brain scientist, and we're going to be talking about how to improve brain functions so that you can make more money, you can do better, have better career, all this. Do you think marijuana, this person on YouTube said that one of the big problems in America is that marijuana is illegal. Do you think weed is good for your brain or not, or neutral or bad?
Well, marijuana has its good implications and bad implications, right? So me personally, I say I'm neutral. It's like I let people, there's lots of bad drugs out there, like cocaine, for example. You say you can take cocaine.
What does cocaine do to the brain? That one's rougher on your brain because it passes the blood-brain barrier.
Cocaine really targets your reward centers. It increases your dopamine flow.
And you can burn out dopamine, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like ecstasy, when people take one ecstasy pill, I heard it takes almost a year for your body to recover the natural dopamine.
What happens with the brain is if you flood it with too much excitement, right? So let's say in the case of cocaine or heroin or whatever, your brain knows that that's not normal. So what happens is it starts telling the brain at the DNA level,
Yeah.
It says, hey, we need to stop producing these dopamine receptors because they're getting flooded and they're getting overexcited. So what happens? The brain produces less. So then when it produces less,
Right,
now
then you
you
get
require a higher dose.
Yeah.
Right. That's why these
The
addicts.
same with steroids. A guy
Same
who
thing.
takes steroids, basically your balls stop making the same. So that's why guys also have to take another pill so their balls don't shrink.
Yeah.
Because your body says, we don't need it. Your body's very efficient.
You basically become desensitized.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand is that now you're affecting your brain at the DNA level, which means you're now changing the structure of your cells.
Yeah.
So taking drugs is not good because of stuff like that, right? So then what happens is it takes now your brain is very smart and can recuperate. But what you do in a few months with cocaine, it takes, like you said, 6 months to a year to come back to its normal levels again. So
Yeah.
highly not
Now, what
recommended.
about, let's talk about this, because me and Kate always argue over alcohol. Because
Bad.
alcohol,
Okay, in
one of the,
moderation.
here's the thing that I'll
it's
say.
not
This
a
is
thing.
my opinion on marijuana.
They say wine.
If I had to live in a country,
Not good. Wine not good.
if
for
I
you.
had to live in a country that had people smoking weed or people being, I just read a report today. I sent this to Kate. 1 in 12 Americans is now officially diagnosed as an alcoholic. Pull up that on your WhatsApp. Pull that up. I want to see what study that. But just think about
I
it.
prefer people on weed.
Oh yeah, like
Alcohol.
if you own night.
Yes.
When we used to own nightclubs, people are smoking weed pretty much. There's no
Take
fights. There's
advantage.
nothing. So I think that here's my experience with marijuana. If you want to make more money, I'll tell you my experience about reprogramming the brain.
Sell it.
Sell marijuana. No, don't. Zach Randolph, an NBA player, might never be able to play in the NBA because he had 2 pounds of marijuana.
When was that?
He got arrested a few days ago. He now plays for the Sacramento Kings. So my experience with marijuana is that it makes it harder for me to think as a businessman. It makes numbers harder to do. If you look at a guy like Snoop Dogg, he smokes all the time. And for his career, which is being a creative artist, it's worked very well. You know, what study was that?
The Washington Post.
No, but I think the Washington Post is quoting somebody else. Here it is. Oh yeah,
It
new
was
study
UCSD.
published in JAMA Psychiatry Journal. This month finds that the rate of alcohol use disorder, or what is colloquially known as alcoholism, rose by a shocking 50% in the last 10 years. 12.7% of America meets diagnostic criteria for being an alcoholic. I mean, that's
Yeah. So now here's another thing. Kate mentions like, a glass of wine a day. There are studies done on the brain that show that even a glass of wine a day is not good for you.
yeah.
There's a doctor called Dr. Amen from Amen Clinics. I'm sure you heard of him, and if you haven't, look him up. But he is a pioneer on brain scans, and what he found is that even people that are drinking 1 glass of wine a day, you could see disruption in the brain. Now people say, wine does have stuff that's beneficial
For your heart and stuff like
heart,
that. Yeah.
and it has
But it messes up your brain.
resveratrol
Yeah.
that it's good for anti-aging. So what I tell people is I say, well, if you want those benefits, there's fruits and other things in diet that you can get the same benefits, and you can leave away the wine.
Or just don't drink every single day,
Yeah.
like Zach.
But how
I got a good Zach story about
how else
alcohol.
am I supposed to get the girl back to my place if not for this alcohol?
Well, you can use it for her, but not on you.
Oh,
I like that Harman condones that.
right, that's horrible.
Here's a good story about alcohol. So, Kate, you'll like this. About
You're making me sound.
someone
bad over
said
here.
someone said this doctor sounds like a quack. No, he's a real PhD. One thing about Harman, he's from Argentina, so his English every once in a while he picks funny words. English is not his first language, but he did get his PhD in the U.S. Also, he didn't get it at
Google it.
DeVry University,
Or,
University of
Arizona.
Barbados.
No.
No
it's
offense to
Phoenix.
Barbados.
University of Phoenix.
Somebody said my kids are geniuses. Okay, well that's good. So Zach, I did a party. Zach moved out to Los Angeles from North Carolina. be ready with the sound effects for this. This is a good alcohol story. So we're you okay with me telling this story, or are you gonna be butthurt?
No. I mean, I've told the story. I think it's funny.
It's more than 7 years.
So I do a big house. I used to throw big house parties. I have another house in the Hollywood Hills, and so I would say I don't know how many people. About 500 people used to come over the night to these parties, and it's hard to get up there. It's these windy roads. So Zack comes, and I noticed that he's drinking more than usual. He's drinking, and all of a sudden,
And I was mixing. I was drinking Scotch.
he always wants to justify why he got
I
sick.
gotta
Liquor before
explain.
beer, you're in the clear.
No, there's a reason for it. There's a legitimate.
Kate has a lot of wisdom to impart to you around alcohol.
No.
She's like, if you want to reprogram your brain to make more money, do not be an alcoholic. But so Zack goes and he is drinking and being more and more talkative, and then all of a sudden he's outside and I'm outside.
He's out high.
And no, I'm outside, and I notice he looks like he's about to throw up. And he was at my front door, like literally, I'm like, do not throw up on my front patio. So I said, go down the street and just throw up in the bushes somewhere in like a little wildlife area. That was
wasn't a
Zack's
good
sound
one.
effect. So Zack
That
goes,
was a real one.
and I forgot about him. So about an hour later, I see Zack. I can see him kind of from the side. Zack used to have a huge beard. And
That's why I cut it.
yeah, and he's talking to all these girls, and I could notice that their faces was like a little bit like, ugh. And I walk up to Zack.
No, I started to come into your house is when you stopped me.
No, you were talking to somebody, I remember. And he had vomit chunks all in his beard and didn't know it. So he was approaching women. How to not get a woman. Have chunks of steaming vomit in your beard.
Ew,
And it was on my pants.
And it was on his clothes, and he didn't
I had no
know.
idea.
And here's the funny part. Zack was so embarrassed. He basically moved back to North Carolina after that. Yes, you did.
That's not why.
Did you? It's just coincidence that within a month or two, you moved back to North Carolina.
No, that was when I first got into town. I was here for a few years. A couple of years.
You went home quickly.
No, I actually stopped drinking for a while.
hiding.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not touching that stuff
Why'd you
anymore.
retake it up again?
It's too bad that there's not
Beneficial
Snapchat.
article. Me too.
Snapchat back then. I wasn't on
Oh,
Snapchat.
yeah, no, I'm glad.
If we had Zack's
No
picture,
record of that.
I wouldn't have said anything. I would have just been talking to him like, so Zack, how's it working with the ladies? Oh, yeah. They seem to not. Do I have something on my shirt
I
tie?
forgot. It's been a few
They don't even let me
years.
finish my intro. They just walk away.
All right, let's talk about this book for a second. Beat the Crowd by Ken Fisher, famous investment advisor. I'm going to read to you some interesting things. He basically says a couple points that you can walk away from on this podcast. The number one thing, he talks about being a contrarian, so going the opposite of the crowd. So thinking differently than most people, but he talks about the dangers of always taking the opposite position. He said sometimes, let's say this, I'm going to give you a perfect example. Right now, Bitcoin. Did anybody see the news today in Bitcoin? Let's look it up. The current price of
Like 2,000 or something?
Bitcoin is, let me look here. Bitcoin today. Yeah, no, it's, what'd you say, Harman?
About 2,000?
$4,000.04 right
Last
now.
month was about 2,000. That's crazy.
One Bitcoin. So it's
Wow.
doubled. There's people, I mean, Bitcoin started, I think I have a friend that said he started with Bitcoin at like $15 or something like that.
Well, Doty,
$7.
Doty started with Bitcoins when it was less than that. It was like $2-3.
Yeah. So, but here, I'm going to make a prediction for you guys right now. I'm doing it on camera. It's recorded. What goes up must come down. And the problem is when too many people, the crowd jumps into an idea, you have to reprogram your brain to start asking serious freaking questions. Now, Bitcoin over time, most likely, or these cryptocurrencies over time, over the next 10 years, are going to go up, I would say, just because you have what's called inflation in the world, meaning the prices of things go up. From the 1930s, your average salary was like $8,000, and now the average salary is like $50,000. That's inflation. But there's going to be some serious drops. Mark my words. I called this on gold. I had some friends about probably in like 2012. I can't remember the exact year. I had I was doing a lot of like business networking at my house. I'd throw these parties, and these guys came and they were so excited and bullish on gold, and they're like, trust me, gold, 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 gold. And I told them, over time, over the next 50 years, gold will always go up because of inflation. But if you need your money on a certain day of the year, like
Christmas.
November 12th, yeah, December 25th for Christmas, and that might be the day that Bitcoin drops. And anybody who doesn't understand that is a newbie to the world of investing. I remember I had one of my mentors was a guy named Walter. He had made almost $1 billion in real estate. He's one of the guys who pioneered nursing homes in America. People don't realize there used to not be nursing homes. He really started, I think he built the first one in the United States in the 1970s. And I was talking about real estate, and I was, still learning, and I was like, well, real estate always goes up. He built big skyscrapers. He built huge apartment complexes. He said, Tai, let me tell you something. Real estate does not always go up. He goes, I remember in the 1980s, I built an apartment, like a huge tower. Okay, this guy built towers, like 80 floor towers, not little duplexes. He said he built a whole series of things, either in Dallas, Texas, or in Houston. And he said, crash came. If you remember, know history, and I think it was, what year was it, Zack? Zack's good with years. I think it was 1984 when you had the savings and loan crisis. Can you look that up?
Yeah.
I think it was 84. And he said real estate went down so much. No one was renting anything. He literally, this is mind blowing, he bulldozed it. A tower. And I said, why'd you bulldoze? He said, well, for years I had to have security there. No one was renting it. We couldn't quite finish it. The financing fell out. And he said, dude, we had homeless people moving in and squatter rights. So we literally, those balls that you see where these huge wrecking balls destroy? Yeah. So there's that, and that's a real asset. That's not even like gold or Bitcoin, which are more, commodities, so to speak. They're more electronic goods. Obviously, Bitcoin is completely electronic good. There is no printed Bitcoin. So anything can go down, and it goes up and down. Somebody said, Tai, you don't understand crypto. Yes, I fucking do. You're just an idiot. You don't understand what I'm saying. Whoever commented that.
It says it started in 1980.
That's somebody on Twitter. Saving loan was in 1980.
It started in 1980. It went into the 90s.
Yeah. Which brings me up to another thing. Number 2. This guy here on Twitter, I don't know who this is, but the world is full of morons, especially when the subject of money. One of my business partners, a guy named Alex, he's the CEO of MentorBox, a company we co-founded in early last year, and it's now a big company. It's the biggest book shipping club in the world right now. It's like the Netflix of books, basically. We built it as. And he's a smart guy. He's got a PhD. He went to Berkeley. He worked his first job was for NASA. He came number 2 in the world at 14 in the world math competition in Norway. This dude ain't dumb. Wow. And we were talking about finance. And we both had the same conclusion, even though I live in LA, he lives in San Diego. He's like, nobody understands money. Nobody. Basically fucking nobody. That's why that guy who's on this saying he understands cryptocurrencies because he read 3 articles in fucking Fortune magazine or something. You don't understand cryptocurrencies either, because nobody does, because cryptocurrency is constantly changing. It's constant changing. You can't understand things that are so new that there's no track record. How the hell are you gonna know what cryptocurrency is gonna do? You could have government regulation come in and change things. People are very naive, and people get so excited about subjects that they don't. It's the same with the brain, Harman. As a brain scientist, how often do you see people talking about the brain, and it's literally, even in the media or articles, it's just completely...
Especially now. It's now it's a fad. The brain, everything's brain.
What are some of the things you've heard people say that is just clearly wrong?
The 10% rule. Oh, we only use 10% of our brain, for example. That's
That's
I bet
false, right?
It's false. Yeah, you use 100% of your brain.
Yeah, because that's so easy to prove. So people are gonna argue.
Yeah.
Is because well, okay, if you only use 10% of your brain, let me cut your
Yeah,
head open and pull 90% out. You'll be brain dead, buddy.
Exactly.
What it is, I think what is more accurate to say is all parts of your brain don't fire on every single subject.
Exactly.
So you might be using more of this when you play chess versus when you read a book versus when you're scared by. We're gonna go see Annabelle, the scary movie.
Yeah.
You know?
And then what happens when you develop certain techniques, like you said, piano. So let's say you play more piano than I do.
Yeah.
So there's areas of your brain that will light up and are going to be used more than mine.
What part of the brain is more musical? Do you know?
There is no more musical. Again, that's another myth where it's like the left and right brain. Another big myth. It's like the creative people are the right brain people, and then the
Because everybody
logic-
uses the right and the left.
Here, same example. If I cut your brain in half, there is the corpus callosum which joins both hemispheres. If you cut it in half and you say, okay, now you disjoin them,
You'll die.
creative, and you won't die. You still survive. There's people that survive because there's surgeries that require that. But what I'm saying is, now it's not like, oh, now he's only more creative or only more. It doesn't happen. There's a communication between both hemispheres at all times. Now what happens is there's certain areas in the left side of the brain that might be processing, let's say, language. And there's some areas in the right side of the brain that's processing, like picture painting. But it doesn't mean that the right brain is the
Right,
one
exclusive.
Yeah, it's not. It's
Yeah.
like a constant communication.
Yeah, there's no exclusivity. So anyway, going back to this book, and the first thing, if you're writing this down, number one, be very, very cautious who you listen to. So let's talk about the subject of Bitcoin. The second every one of your friends and every tweet is gung-ho on Bitcoin, is a guaranteed potential problem. Not everybody can see opportunity. So you just don't, I'm not saying you shouldn't do Bitcoin. I'm just saying, mark my words, the people who love Bitcoin, there's going to be some people between now and the next few years that are going to be mad at Bitcoin. It's just how the game goes, So Bitcoin, if you want to get into Bitcoin, here's my advice to you. Go out and reprogram your brain to be different than the crowd by training your brain on Bitcoin. So go out and attend the cryptocurrency conferences that are being put on now all around the United States. Go out, find books that are on both sides. This is the key thing. So number two, to reprogram your brain, you must become excited to listen to your opposition. That's very important. It's the mark of an intelligent person that I think Aristotle said that. The mark of an intelligent person is somebody who's willing to consider both sides. So you need to, let me just Google this. I'll give you an example. All of you people who hate, if you hate Bitcoin, you need to learn how to love, why you should love Bitcoin and vice versa. So let's just look this up. Anti-Bitcoin, let's just see what comes up. Anti-Bitcoin, and I'll just look.
Where's the special effects?
Why? Yeah, we need some special effects.
Come on, Zack.
Why? I'm just putting it. Why you shouldn't invest in Bitcoin. Here we go. 4 reasons I'll never invest in Bitcoin. This is just an article from Motley Fool by a guy named Sean Williams, June 14th, 2 months ago. So here's a long article. We're not going to go through the whole thing. He says the reasons why he'll never buy Bitcoin. It's anonymity is its own worst enemy, and he goes through a long argument why. Security is a major concern. There aren't reasonable ways to invest in it. Most people don't understand it. 10 stocks we like better than Bitcoin. Okay, now, then you should read the other side too. You must be reading both. That some of your brain is reprogrammed. And I'm going to tell you the number one reason. Most parents are stupid. I'm going to go on record. Parents ruin the fucking world. People love their parents, and that's okay. But parents ain't living up to their job because for the last 10,000 years, parents have been spitting out stupid damn kids that then all of society has to take care of. Thank you, Zack, for that sound effect. No, it's true. Society's been pushing out people. They got 18 years to train their damn kids. 18 years. You got from birth, okay, assuming you got, normal situation. You got birth to 18. People coming out, they don't know what I'm saying right now. You know why? You ever been around? I've been around white trash. Okay, I lived in North Carolina. I lived in a mobile home for years. I've been around white trash and I've been around the ghetto. I've been around both. And one of the things that white trash parents, like I had a friend, we had a friend. They live in mobile home. Zack knows him too. Joe.
Oh.
And we had a friend, and it was the definition basically of white trash. Nice family. I'm not disparaging them. But trust me, do you think at dinner time when they were eating their microwave fucking and Cocoa Puffs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, do you think that the parents were like, you need to be well-rounded in your approach to understanding financial investments? They didn't even know what this... If you would ask their mom and dad what the damb stock market was, they probably thought it was, Lego.
Some place where you buy...
Is that
a row at Food Line?
Yeah, so... White trash, okay, produces a lot of damn humans with very closed minds. If you don't believe me, look at Charlottesville right now. Because if you had a great conversation in Charlottesville, today the riots are getting worse as far as I can tell, but now it's happening in Seattle. Okay, did you see Seattle had a big riot thing? What's the funniest thing at one of these today? One of the one of the white supremacist guys who led the whole Charlottesville, he tried to give a talk. Did you see that?
No.
Boy, man, he had riot cops running off, but somebody had a trombone and was playing it every time he would try to talk. I just thought that was great.
I think you should send Zeke up there as a correspondent for the Tai Lopez media.
We have Zack dress up like a white trash person.
Yeah. Let me do it. I'll go up to Seattle as Zeke.
What's the sound effect for Zeke the white trash man?
I got to look through these things.
There's no redneck sayings.
No, here we go.
Scusi. No, that's Italian.
That's Italian. That's the opposite of white trash, man. All right, Kate, let's do a quick giveaway while Zack found.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to hit these. It's just
find trombone.
Your finger hits the button.
Okay, let's do this right here. First person to get this. Who wants to videotape this so we don't miss it? Is that feedback just in the headset? It's not in the actual mic?
I don't hear it in
Okay.
those two.
It's probably my stupid thing here. Okay. Let's do, for $100, this is my version of Jeopardy. Let's do history. Let's say, what year was the year that the savings and loan crisis in the United States happened? Begin. Someone said 1953. Nope. Right there. Jason. Jason got it. Jason, come again. One more time, Jason. Post. We'll be filming you. You gotta watch, these two are fast. Jason something or other is the winner on Twitter. There he is. Hi. We got you, Jason. 1980. That was a big... Now, what happened back then, let's talk about this. Number 2. If you want to or number 3, I think we're on. Reprogramming your brain. So $100. I just mentioned it. Kate, who we sending $100? Jason. By the way, you stay to the end. We got a MacBook Air. Where is it, Kate?
It's right here.
Yeah, that's what you need to do for the white trash one. We got a Howard Dean running for president sound effect where he goes, hi-ya! All right, let's do a quick questions for a second, and then we're going to go back to the subject of how to reprogram your brain. We're going to be giving more money away. We're giving more laptops away. Someone said, damn it, my IG lags. Someone said Howard Dean is an MD, you moron. Okay, Prime, this is a white trash person. Twitter is white trash land, don't worry. Howard Dean was a presidential candidate. he might have additionally done other things in his life.
And a doctor.
What year was Howard Dean? Zach will
That
remember.
was 04.
04.
2004.
He
Yeah,
ran
he
for
ran
president, and did he get past the? He was just in
No,
the
it was John
primaries.
Kerry that- Yeah, it was just primaries.
Just in the primaries, and he yelled "Hiya!" like that, and that basically got him ostracized. No, Twitter is not real and raw. Twitter is Dumbo land. There's a few smart people on Twitter and YouTube and stuff, but no, come on, man. If that's what you consider intelligent people, you ain't never been around intelligent people. Okay, let's go back. Oh,
well.
somebody said, is Katie, Katie looks bored as fuck. Are you bored, Kate?
No, I'm not. Why does everyone say that? It's
It's
just my
because-
face, guys. I'm just.
He's smart.
She has a RBF sometimes. What's a RBF stand for, Zach?
RBF?
Oh, when a woman has an RBF face.
It's like a yeast thing.
No. She has a yeast face?
No. Oh,
thinking
the
of-
acronym. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about a condition. Yeah, the resting bitch face.
Resting bitch face.
No, I don't have that either. I don't know.
They're noticing, Kate. All right. Next thing, let's talk about if you want to
Someone
make
just said she's just chilling. Yeah, I'm just chilling.
if you want to make more money and you want to reprogram your brain, one of the things you're gonna have to understand is the banking system. So let's talk about the banking system for a second. Now, I'm sure white trash comments and not to just say white trash because I don't want to be anti-white because I also played basketball and was around the ghettos too, which are equally as messed up as white trash in my experience. They're just different. White trash is white stuff.
It's cultural.
No, but I'm just saying I grew up playing basketball in housing projects. My best friend Leon Champion was selling cocaine when we were in high school, and he ended up dying in prison in North Carolina. And I would stay with him in the projects, and they were real projects. They had literally zero food. I remember it was the first time in my life I spent the night at one of my best friends in high school, Leon Champion, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I was hungry, and I went down in his kitchen. I opened the fridge. There was mustard. I'll never forget. There was a thing of mustard. I opened every cupboard. The next day I was like, Leon, where's the damn food? He goes, I only eat Monday through Friday when I get free lunches, and then on the weekend I just scavenge for food. I mean, his mom had zero money. So that's the ghetto, is different problems. You got more stuff, in my experience, with, usually the white trash, in my experience, there was a dad around more. So there might be married. Inner city, something like, I forget the statistics, like 80% or 90% of people in the inner city, especially in the projects, don't know their dad. So that's different. White trash, in my experience, had a mom and dad around. Now
And
that mom,
they also have the benefit of the privilege, the white privilege.
Zach's trying to stir up controversy. No, but the white trash was more, the husband and wife were married, but they were like beating each other up and throwing each other out of the window. So that's why I said poverty creates, on a serious note, poverty creates tremendous problems. And some of it's mental.
At the brain level, if you're malnourished or you have traumatic life experiences, you're not going to develop a bright brain. I mean, I'm going to simplify.
So even
it
if you
like
have enough food, but just the trauma.
yeah. Yes.
Trauma, what does trauma do to the brain?
Many things, but I'm actually writing the book that hopefully I'll be finishing by the end of the month. It has a whole chapter about that particular topic.
Well, what's an
which is-
example it could do? Would it thicken a part of your brain? Would it shut off a part of your brain? Does it make it hypersensitive? I mean, I know one thing. The amygdala stores your fear, trauma memories, and it's hard to get rid of those. And that's where you get post-traumatic syndrome disorder.
Yes, that's where yes, you're absolutely correct. Now, again, trauma, if it's trauma where you've been being violently hurt,
Yeah, like a kid
people are,
beaten up or
beaten
something.
up and thrown against the walls,
Yeah.
now you're creating, lots of problems. You're actually damaging brain cells. If it's traumatic experiences,
Like emotional trauma.
yes.
Yeah.
So what happens is you raise the levels of stress, like
Yeah.
highly. I mean, if a child was raised in a very traumatic environment,
Yeah.
his levels of cortisol
Yeah.
are forever high, and he's always alert, and that doesn't allow him to develop other areas of the brain because he's always like going into this fight or flight mode, and it affects normal development.
Yeah, I read an article that they took identical twins, so they had 99% the same DNA, and the children, one went into a family. It wasn't on purpose. Yeah. They didn't do it on purpose, but one went into an abusive, bullied. One was bullied and one wasn't. And the bullied one, for the rest of her life, it was two women. For the rest of her life, had higher cortisol levels.
Oh, yeah.
And if you have too much cortisol, it messes with your body. Kate is falling asleep. Kate, a lot of people eyes are on you. If you look like you're sleeping.
I'm not sleeping. Oh wait.
Kate's brain has been traumatized. Okay.
No.
Somebody said, Ty, I just sold my house. I'm 25 and I now have $100,000. What should I do with it? Well, the first thing is in real estate, if you've made $100,000 profit, you can flip the money into another real estate property so you don't have to pay taxes. So in the United States, there's special laws, okay? There was an act that's called 1031. In insurance, it's called 1035. Exchanges. And the government basically said, if you're exchanging one thing of value to another thing of value directly, we'll give you a tax break. And so if you own a house for $200,000 and you sell it for $400,000, as long as you quickly transfer it into a $400,000 house, they won't make you pay tax on the profit, capital gains or anything. You get to delay it. There's different kind of 1031 exchanges that give you different time frames, but months or less, depending on what you do. 1035 exchanges for annuities, life insurance, they've got that. So let's go back to this for a second. Let's talk about banking. So here's the deal with banking system. A lot of people think the Rockefellers run the world. A lot of people think that the Federal Reserve is an evil entity. It's an oversimplification. It's not quite that simple. There's no Illuminati. There's no one group of people that run the banking system of the United States. It's very complicated. In fact, here we go. I told you. This guy's name's Muppets of the Day on Twitter said Rothschild run the world. Okay? That is just not true. It is not true.
Just kidding.
Kate is now defending the Rothschild. The Rothschilds do not run it. Do you know how big? Even if you had Bill Gates' net worth. Bill Gates is worth almost $100 billion. He can't change the stock market. I mean, he could change it by talking about Microsoft. But if he takes his money in or out, how big is the stock market? Let's do this. Let's do a $100 giveaway right here. For somebody who knows, I'm going to tell you right now, the most accurate, let me pull it up so I have it because it changes every day. And we'll do, let's do global because I know I got people here in probably at least 50 countries listening in. Let's see. So here's the question. First person to answer this. Well, let's just do the largest stock market exchange. This is as of February, so it's not the most accurate. What the total market cap of just the New York Stock Exchange. Okay? That's not counting NASDAQ. That's not counting the smaller commodity boards, Chicago. That's not counting the Australian exchange and the Japanese exchange and the Hong Kong and Germany. How big is just as of February 17th, because that's what came up here. Whoever guesses it, the total market cap of that. Somebody's saying 21 trillion, someone said 50 billion. I don't see it yet.
Oh wait, is that it? Is it this number?
Do you see it? There we go.
Yeah.
Alex Cho, congratulations on YouTube. I'll be PayPaling you $100.
Wow.
As of February 17th, it was at 18.5 trillion. So even one man, aka Bill Gates, the richest man. Now remember, he doesn't have $92 billion in a bank account. That's his total net worth. And most of his net worth is held in stock at Microsoft, which he could not even sell. Because if Bill Gates sold all his stock, it would freak people out and the price would drop. So he'd sell his first share for this and then it would drop. So he does, but let's just say he had 100 billion cash, which he doesn't. The New York Stock Exchange alone is 19.5 or 18.5 trillion. So how much more is a trillion? Well, Bill Gates has 100 billion, let's say. A trillion is 10 times that, times 18. So even Bill Gates is not even 180th of the New York Stock Exchange. So how could one man or one family, the Rothschilds, affect this? People aren't, that's why I said the world is so stupid. People can't, sometimes, you know how I figure shit out? Very similar, there's different kinds of logic. There's one called a priori logic, a posteriori logic. So I don't know if you remember, I didn't go to college, but I read college textbooks. They teach this in critical thinking. So some things are self-evident truths. For example, we could say that it's self-evident truth, basically, that you need all of your brain, and we prove it by saying who's arguing that you only use 10% of your brain, who here is willing to cut 90% of their brain out and think they'll still be functioning well? So it's simple logic. If you take any part of your brain out, for the most part, you are going to be fucked up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who here wants to just go, you know what a lobotomy is? That's what they used to do in the 1950s when you were crazy. They didn't used to give you Zoloft. They didn't used to give you, Ambien or whatever. They used to cut open the front part of your brain, remove it, and people would be permanently like, you can see old YouTube videos that they recreated in movies, walking around these insane asylums, they called them, and people were just like, And so, self-evident truth. Well, it's also self-evident truth that no one person is powerful enough when the New York Stock Exchange alone is 180 times bigger than the wealthiest man in the world. Just the New York Stock Exchange. If you do global...
Even if you combine the top 10, you can still not...
Oh, no, dude. The total GDP, and there's different ways to measure, is probably between 50 and 100 trillion dollars. The Rothschilds do not control that. It's just not possible. For example, who here's life's been affected by the Rothschilds that you know of? Obviously, it's possible. They're doing a covert activity. They're not. And this book here, we're talking about this book for those of you coming in. It's called Beat the Crowd. One of the things that he talks about here is that these markets, these bankers get it wrong. So if the Rothschilds are so smart, they would want in general to be able to move the markets in the correct directions. Because one of the theories is that what the Rothschilds will do, or what the Federal Reserve will do, is they'll change the stock market so that the economy benefits them and hurts everybody else, right? Well, they get it wrong. There's something called quantitative easing. Not to get too complicated, because all the white trash and the dumbasses that aren't white, not just to pick on white trash, but the non-white trash too, the all color trash that's on Twitter. Before you get bored, because I'm talking about quantitative easing. Yeah, the Asian trash.
Latin trash.
Quantitative easing got it, according to this book, got it backwards. Remember how they're lowering the interest rate to help the economy? Remember in 2008, the government lowered the interest rate because they wanted to free up more cash. Well, Ken Fisher in this book says it has the opposite result, because not to get too technical, but basically here's how a bank basically works. And it's definitely more complicated than this, partly because they've added crap load of regulations and stuff. But basically the bank has short-term lending rates and low-term. So when you put your money right now in your Bank of America, your Chase, your HSBC account, they're paying you, let's say, 0.5% interest. Very low, okay? That's their cost. They have to pay you 0.5%. Now, if you go to buy a house, you might borrow money from Bank of America. They lend it to you. And let's say a house right now is roughly 5% interest. So the difference between the short-term interest rate, which is very low, almost getting close to 0% at one point. Remember when you got no money on your bank account? I remember one time when I had much money, I had money in a bank account, and they send you a statement. It's a 1099-I. You get these for your taxes at the end of the year, and it was for like 7 cents. Yeah. Or some 70 cents or $7, some teeny. I don't know, I was going, that's how much money the bank had to pay me. That's their cost. Now, they lent out my money. If you put $1,000 in a bank, guess what they do? They basically lend it to somebody who wants to buy a house or start a business. And they're basically charging 5-6%. So they're 10xing what they pay you. So the problem is when you lower short-term interest rates, okay, it flattens what's called the yield curve. So the long and short of it, it didn't work. In 2008, America went into damn huge problems. I think, was it 6 million people who lost their homes in 2008 were evicted or forced into bankruptcy? So the bankers aren't even that much smarter than you and I. So the damn Rothschilds ain't smart enough. The global economy, I'll tell you one last story. Who here knows the story of LTC? Long-term capital, LTCM, long-term capital management. Long-term capital management was a company. Zack, look up the years since you know years. I believe it was in 90, it was when Clinton was president. So they decided they would bring together the most PhDs in history to start an investing company. It was called long-term capital management. And these were the geniuses of the world. I mean, literally, the levels of, it was Nobel Prize winners. It was, economists from University of Chicago and Harvard and all these geniuses. These dudes come together and they start betting what the market's going to do. So they start basically, you can bet, it's very much like, I'm looking today at Conor McGregor tickets to go to the Conor McGregor. By the way, let me Snapchat this real quick.
He's 98, says.
98, yeah. You guys are missing it. We're live here on my podcast. We're talking about how to reprogram your brain to make money. Got a neuroscientist here talking about your brain. I'm talking about the Rothschilds, Bitcoin. So go on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Live, or watch my podcast. This will be out in a couple days. We're recording it now. Okay, so long-term capital management comes together. 1998, it all came to a head. They made all these huge bets. Just like you can bet on Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. There's going to be a lot of money exchanging hands, boy. A lot of people are betting. Right now, the odds are down. It's much closer between Floyd. It's like minus 500 and plus 335 or something like that on Floyd versus Conor McGregor. Okay. Here's the deal. They got it wrong and almost crashed the entire world economy. Literally, the United States government had to step in. See, usually the government won't step in. They had to step in and save these. I think Warren Buffett, somebody came to Warren Buffett and said, do you want to save these guys? He's like, hell no, even I can't save them. And he was I think he was the richest man in the world there. So my point is, the markets are so complicated that there's no way the Rothschilds are smarter than long-term capital management, which had 40 or how many, look up long-term capital management, how many PhDs did they have? It was the most, it wasn't just PhDs, it was Nobel Prize winning economists. These are the damn geniuses of the universe. Someone said Kate's trying to stay awake. No, Kate does listen.
I think where people go wrong with the Rothschild or Rockefellers and whatnot, it's not so much that they're controlling the economy as much as they are deciding who wins the Super Bowl, who's going to become president. Those are where they
Zack thinks he didn't like the refs in the NBA Finals, so he thinks the Rothschilds. Do you think the Rothschilds are affecting the refs?
It's not.
I had dinner with. Me and Zack had lunch with Adam Silver. You might have seen him on my Snapchat a few weeks ago. And so we went to this ivory tower where the NBA, the National Basketball Association, top floor. What floor was that on? 60th floor or something?
It was high.
It was high. We were way up there. And so we're with Adam Silver, who's the most powerful man in sports. He got voted by Time Magazine. He's in the most influential 100 people in the world.
Two
And-
Nobel Prize winners.
7 PhDs I'm seeing.
Yeah, but that was just at the top.
Right.
Yeah,
Those are the partners.
These are the heads.
Yeah. So the partners of long-term capital management was 7 PhDs, 2 Nobel Prize winners. Anyway, so we were up there with Adam Silver, and I was talking about the refs, and he was saying, Ty, we couldn't even have the refs. There's so many people with phones now. You think you can hide a bad play when Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, every little front-facing camera in the United States is watching? No, you can't fake. Same with the Rothschilds. Do you think the Rothschilds have this like room, and then how do they dispense their orders without somebody leaking it? You know, look, Bill Clinton, what he did in the White House with Monica Lewinsky, that was before social media, and that shit got out. Stuff gets out now. So it's a bitch, man. So for when you want to understand banking, you need to understand a few things in banking. And I'm gonna do a little test right now. Let's give away. We got that Apple Watch. Give that to Kate. I'm gonna give an Apple Watch to the person who answers this question, and this might go fast. What is the current, this is a test, who is actually intelligent and who is not, or who's been training their brain, because no one's born knowing this stuff. All right, I'm gonna look up, I gotta look up the exact number right now, unfortunately. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. All right. What is the federal discount rate? Begin. That's the number, by the way. What's the federal discount rate? Who knows? Someone said 16%. No, you're way too high, bro. 1% is getting closer. The federal discount rate as of, this would have been as of 8/8. So right now.
Close.
Oh, right there.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Well,
Right here. Drones and Sneakers is the YouTube name. Congratulations. The current federal discount rate is 1.75%. What is the federal discount rate? You need to know. It affects your life. It affects your credit cards. It affects when you go to buy a house or when you go to buy a car. You want a Lamborghini, guys? You got to know how the banking system works. Okay? You want to get a house? You're probably not going to pay cash for a house if you're smart. You might as well use some of the damn bank money. They give you almost free money in America. Plus, they give you a tax deduction on the interest. It doesn't make sense to buy shit cash, everything cash, even though, again, idiotic people think you should, if you have any debt, that you're something wrong. There's good debt and there's bad debt. Okay. 1.75. This is the rate. The federal discount rate is basically the rate that banks can borrow funds from the government. So they borrow money. It's very bizarre, but banks borrow money from the government. And they don't pay that much money for that. They pay 1.75%, and it's limited, and they move that up and down to try to control the world. So the Rothschilds don't control that, and there's a board of bank. It's complicated. There's no one person that can do it. Guess what I'm saying. All right? Somebody said they got that right. Somebody said, Ty, it's a good indicator of inflation. Yeah, I mean, in general, inflation and interest rates are similar. Because in the 1980s, did you know if you put money, especially in the early 80s, if you put money in your bank, you know how much interest they gave you per year? 18% on your money. If you put $1 million into a checking account in the 1980s, they'd pay you $180,000 a year. I think it went higher. I think it went to like 22% or something. So here's what that means.
Well, when I came to America in, what was it, in
42?
1998, I remember a checking account was like 7-8%,
Yeah.
which was like, wow, that's pretty cool, I thought, back then.
But the problem is, remember this one saying. This is going to change somebody's life that writes this down. A great philosopher, and of course it slips my mind who said this. Let me look it up. But here's the saying. There are no solutions, there are only trade-offs. So for those of you who think, there we go. There are no solutions, only trade-offs was Thomas Sowell.
Thomas Sowell.
Sowell, sorry. You like him. Isn't he a capitalist guy you like, Zack?
Yeah, he's libertarian.
He's a libertarian kind of guy. But there's no solutions. There's only trade-offs. That's even in the brain, like you were saying. Rain Man was such a genius, but it wasn't a solution to be that smart because he had to trade some of the functioning of being able to look somebody in the eye and say, hello, you want to go on a date to have a girlfriend. He couldn't do that. All right, we got to reset Instagram right now. Someone said, Kate, are you looking at me? Kate, you got your fans going. 28,000 people were just watching live on Instagram. We probably got about, across all these, we got about 50,000 people watching live, which is kind of cool. It's like a stadium, man. It's like a football stadium. What is the football stadiums down in the soccer stadiums in Argentina? How many do they hold? About 50,000? I
The
think.
biggest one, I'm not sure. I know it's River Plate, but I'm not really sure. I can
Look it up. What is it? What's the biggest football, U.S. football, Zach? Dallas Cowboys?
I would think so.
How big?
Check.
I think that holds like 60. No, the Detroit. That damn Astrodome or whatever they used to have. Remember where the Detroit Pistons played there? They had like 75,000 people, wasn't it? Or 60?
100,000 is AT&T Stadium in Dallas.
Wow,
Let me
Dallas.
check.
Woof.
62,000 is the biggest one in Argentina.
Really? Okay. All right. Let's keep talking. I want to switch subjects real quick.
You know what? Yesterday I read an interesting trivia. The biggest stadium in the world is in North Korea.
Really?
It was 180,000.
God, do they all go to see Kim Jong-un? All right, let's take some question and answers. Questions for Zack, questions for Kate, questions for Harman, question for me. Somebody said, how do you train your brain? Somebody said, Tai, get a thick girl.
They're calling you skinny.
They're saying you're too skinny,
I'm not
Kate.
skinny, I'm in the middle.
Kate's not thick or thin. She's feminine.
In fact, she's just big bone.
No,
Zack, you're missing our sound effects.
more on the
Zach, what are you doing?
muscle.
No texting.
Hopefully.
Tai, do you meditate? Talk more about cryptocurrencies. I'm going to do a special edition. I'm going to bring in a buddy of mine who's an absolute expert on cryptocurrencies. So we'll be doing a Bitcoin one soon. Someone said, his smile is so hot. I think you meant her smile. Tai, give us a one-liner motivation quote to start tomorrow with. Can they hear that on this?
I don't know.
Zack has a sound effect machine. I would say how to motivate. You overcome procrastination through ambition. So instead of trying to fight procrastination, you have to increase your ambition. That's a interesting. Ambition, Harman, is part of the brain, and some of it's genetic. For example, if you have more testosterone, and testosterone, some of the attributes of testosterone, like anger and things like these, are passed on. If you have a really angry dad, it's more likely that you'll have one. So you can try to up your ambition in different ways, hopefully not just shooting up testosterone to do so. But one of the things that I like to do is, so think of it like this. This is a long answer to your quote question.
I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. This thing is so sensitive.
So you have procrastination here. This is what you're trying to get away from. Then the next step to get away from it is ambition. So you just keep reverse engineering life. That's how you become a powerful person. You keep reverse engineering life. So then, to beat procrastination, you get ambition. So how do you get ambition? That's the next question. Okay, so to me, ambition comes out of vision. Vision. So most people have no vision. My dogs, for example, I got 2 German Shepherds here, Ando and Heli. Heli's from Germany. Ando's American. They're real German Shepherds, right? They have no vision of tomorrow. They can't get excited for tomorrow. All they basically do all day is think about chasing. They love good guard dogs, especially German Shepherds. You can tell by their chase instinct. So they just chase a ball that we throw all day. And I was talking to Harman about it. I mean, they could chase the ball
all day,
at least 18 hours a day. They got no vision. Okay, so a lot of humans are that way. That's why tabloid media exists. That's why the best-selling shows on television for the last 50 years have been some of the stupidest ones. That's why some of the movies that have, what's the highest grossing movies we got? Some of them are good.
This year or all time? You're saying
this year
overall?
Well, I'll tell you one. I didn't like Wonder Woman. I mean, the fact that everybody thinks Wonder Woman is so good.
I think that one became a hit because of all the people back 30, 20 years ago. They're like, oh.
Why do you think people like Wonder Woman, Zack?
Like my sister
Good
loved it.
special effects.
I think there's a bit of an invested interest in seeing women put on a platform as
Yep.
great superheroes and
Kate's going, yep. Kate's claiming
See a
that.
girl superhero.
No, but so Zack thinks it's somewhat of the feminist
no,
agenda.
I think there was some of that involved. I didn't dislike it. I enjoyed it, but I didn't think it was great. Like 90 plus.
Yeah, 90 plus on Rotten Tomatoes.
I feel
My
like
ass.
is people feeling guilty.
Yeah, critics didn't.
And people are biased.
It was
Like
the
I said,
same. It was just a regular. It was the same as any Marvel one. It wasn't amazing, man. Anyway, if you want to see an amazing movie, go see Wind River.
I haven't seen it yet.
Wind fucking River
When
is a movie that'll blow your brains. I mean, that thing's badass. Anyway, so vision. Going back to how you get ambition. If you want to make more money, you got to procrastinate less. You do that by having more ambitious. You get ambition by increasing your vision. So my definition of vision is you can see tomorrow before today happens. You can see 1 year out. So for example, some of you, let's just take a very finite object. Some of you see that I got like cool cars, and people I get every day, people DM me, I want a Lamborghini. Okay, well, I'm like, all right, to get a Lamborghini, if you ain't born with a Lamborghini, or whatever goal you want, to be able to give $1 million to charity, or if you want to help your mom out, whatever you want to do. If you take your current state, you're probably going to procrastinate. Why? Because you're not that ambitious. Why? Because you can't imagine what it'll be like without actually having it. You can't imagine what it'll be like. So the people that are ambitious, they can imagine, they can taste it before they have it. And therefore, they keep going until they get it. And that is the most important thing you need to motivate yourself tomorrow. What is it that you want? Can you taste it right now, even though you don't have it right now?
And that triggers something on your brain. You know, that pre-thinking of something you're going to get is the most addictive thing. It's more, it happens to you. I'm sure it happened to me many times where you buy something, you want something really bad. You finally buy it, 2 weeks later, you're like,
Yeah.
it's there. That's because the brain anticipates reward. The anticipation
Yes.
is more powerful than the actual event.
Yes.
So, and that's what's happening. What you're saying with ambition is like, if you're ambitious enough and you're looking at, you're like, oh yeah, I want that Lamborghini, I want the money. That brain is like really wired up to be like, yes, yes. But once you get it, you're like, oh, okay, what's the next level thing? What's the other thing that I can get for me to be excited?
But
like
that's
that?
where what you do in life, because that's true. Everything, look, there's a saying, everything is vanity in this world. Okay? No offense. I mean, there, you know, if you read Proverbs, what does it say? You know, all flesh is grass. But it basically, he said the flowers fade, everything fades. So yes, getting a Lamborghini or getting a new house or getting a new job or starting a business and making $1 million, eventually it's gonna wear out. So my solution to that's funny you bring that up. I was thinking about this today. I was like, you gotta always keep a new challenge in front of yourself. And if you read like Ray Dalio, he's worth $20 billion hedge fund guy. He says, after he made $20 billion, he realizes life always got the same obstacles. You still got some person in your life that's annoying. It's gonna, so he's like, life just becomes a perpetual challenge against yourself, and you just make new stuff up, Just make new stuff up. J. Cole says, love your homie. Oh, that's a song. Somebody said, design? Wait, what? What's more powerful, affirmations or visualization? So affirmation is basically when you say, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to be successful. And visualization is where it's not necessarily verbal. I'll tell you this, Kobe Bryant, this is a cool thing he used to do, the basketball player. He would go, and Shaquille O'Neal said one time he walked in a gym and thought Kobe Bryant had gone insane because he was playing a full basketball game by himself, full warm-up, with no ball. He was dribbling, but just the air. He was shooting, just the air. He was doing layups.
Players do that a lot.
Yeah, that's visualization. Somebody said Kobe is trash. Zach, what do you think of that statement? Was Kobe Bryant a trash basketball player? 5 rings.
I think that's the same person that earlier said
white
something
trash.
Howard Dean was an MD.
Yeah. Someone said Kate is better than Kobe.
I don't think so.
Not basketball. She might be
Making babies.
She might be prettier. Someone said, I'm from Pennsylvania. Kobe is not trash. Laughing my ass off. Yeah. Yep. Ty versus Kobe. Oh, you wouldn't want to play Kobe in basketball. Did you see that LeVar Ball challenged Ice Cube yesterday to a 4-point shot? Because today is their 3-on-3 tournament at the Staples Center.
Oh, right.
So I saw the preview. LeVar Ball talking all this shit. I will destroy you. I will beat. Guess who won? Ice Cube beat him. Remember that LeVar Ball said he could beat Michael Jordan with, what was it? With one leg? That's what Michael Jordan responded to him and said, you couldn't beat me if I was playing on one leg. That would be funny if Michael Jordan just decided to play LeVar Ball on one leg. On one leg.
Competition so much that he might get ticked off enough. Man, that'd be a big rubber, tying.
What?
Never mind. I was just visualizing.
Zach's visualizing
Visualization.
affirmations, how to tie Michael Jordan's leg behind him. You got a horse tie him over. Okay. I bet you are wearing his shoes. Oh no, check out the shoes of the day, baby. You guys know I got shoe game. I'm trying to work on Harman and Zack, but check out the shoes today.
Hey, mine are cool. What are you talking about?
Look at these. What am I wearing? I got the LeBron 9s.
You got funny clown orange juice.
No, these are called the LeBron
Ringling
9s.
Brother
These are the
Martin
space
Bailey
version.
Circus.
Put some circus music on there.
They don't. You guys appreciate that. These are these intergalactic ones. They got space right there.
Yeah, exactly. Space
2012 LeBron wore. These are special edition.
I got the Ferrari. I got the Ferrari.
Zach,
shoes.
Herman's from Argentina, so he's wearing some cow shoes.
No.
He's got cowboy.
Ferrari.
No, Herman's wearing soccer shoes. Yeah.
They're not sorry. They're just.
These are the Big Bangs, baby. LeBron 9 Big Bangs. They're badass. Okay.
It,
It's a little late.
Ty
but I
wears
knew it was
those, so
there.
at night nobody, runs over him with a car, so
Yeah.
they can see him from far.
Okay.
Also, whenever the power's out, he
Somebody
puts it on
said-
so he can find his
Somebody
way
said
around the ring.
chanclas. Who here's from? Do we have anyone here from Argentina?
Come on.
Do we have anyone here from Argentina? If so,
Me.
where? Not you. Do you pay attention to Periscope chat?
Periscope.
Twitter
That's kind of
bought Periscope. So all the live chat. Periscope is the dumbest
There's
people
nobody
of
from
all the chat.
Argentina.
No,
There
there's
we
a bunch
go.
of people saying
Someone said they're from Kiev, Argentina. The Kiev's in the Ukraine, buddy. Here we go.
I'm from Mobile, Argentina.
Cobra Viper is from what city? Is anybody? Veronica Aventura said, no, I'm from El Salvador. Who's been to El Salvador? Zach, have you been to El Salvador?
No, just Guatemala, Mexico, and Costa Rica.
Zach loves Central America because he's white.
Oh my God.
He's very white. He's white. He's white, tall, and has red hair, and so the Latin women love him.
Yeah.
Why did you ever come back?
It was legal issues and the authorities, basically.
Too many pregnant women?
No. I would not do that.
His mom might be watching.
A lot of good Catholic girls down there. It's a little more difficult than you might think.
Argentina. What's the best job for a high school student? I think the best jobs now are
For high schoolers, restaurants.
if you want a 9-to-5 job, not restaurants.
Good
Unless you want to be in the
tips.
restaurant business. No. Because you don't want
Just for-
to listen, when you're as a teenager, you don't want to optimize for maximum income yet.
Yeah.
You want to maximize for maximum increase in brains and brain function and skills.
Yeah.
Sales. If you want to get a 9-to-5 job, so you could start your own business
Skills
as a
or
teenager.
tutoring.
Tutoring, yes, because then you learn.
Yeah.
But then you mostly tutoring people on shit like isosceles triangles and stuff. Sales. 70% of billionaires. There's a great book called The Self-Made Billionaire Effect. Self-Made Billionaire Effect. Buy that book. And 70% of billionaires were in what profession for quite a while? Sales. Ray A. Kroc started McDonald's, was in sales. Mark Cuban was in sales. They had people in sales, man. And they might not do it their whole life. So there's people always ask me about Cutco, which is you sell knives door to door. Get a job like that. And some of those guys make decent money. I don't work for Cutco or get any kickback for telling you that. That's just
Ginsu knives.
ginseng.
Oh, yeah. They cut the can and the tomato.
No, but Cutco.
And then your shoe.
You don't have a cutting? Zach's starting to fade. Why don't you here?
There's 100 selections.
Let me have this.
Here.
Give it to Kate. Let Kate do it for a while. Come
Oh,
on, Zach.
Kate, I
He's
think
the
you
sound
think you're
guy.
not able.
No, here's
No,
the
it's
problem.
okay.
So you
He's
see
the
how many's
sound
on
guy.
one page? And
Yeah.
there's 100.
You're not gonna let Kate.
And so
guys,
you gotta
what do
go
you
through
think of
all
Zach?
of them.
He won't be generous and share with Kate at all. Wait, give her the blue sound thing.
Oops. It is sensitive, guys.
Yeah, so when you're trying to scroll through, that's whenever y'all would hear me out of nowhere.
Yo,
Okay, if they're a little random.
that's what y'all. I'm talking about the white trash.
All right. So Kate, I want you to be giving us some
Sounds like
sound
Adrian.
effects.
That actually sounds like Adrian when you do that one.
Someone said sharing is caring, Zach. Doesn't want to find out that she's better than him. That's what Adrian Vasquez says.
Her time is
There you go.
How do I scroll through without hitting him? Oops.
in between.
Kate, you have to go.
Yeah.
Oh, in between.
What a
Make sure you
dumb
put the
app.
finger.
What an app they forgot to put a scrolling thing in.
Wow.
That sounded like her.
Okay, let's talk about making money. That's today's subject.
That's a good
She's
one.
doing better than me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm doing too much.
Try to match it with what we're talking about.
I
That's the
am.
whole skill.
That was
So if you
I'm telling you, that's the problem because you get 12 a page.
There's like so
there's
many.
100
someone, you know what's
I
funny?
hear-
People are noticing that you don't blink a lot, Kate. So there's people literally saying on here like, "Ooh, she blinked twice. Call the police."
It's amazing the things people pay attention to.
Oh, dude, people.
Isn't that-
Do I not blink a lot?
That's like a sign of a sociopath, I think, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
Did they
so.
notice
They just
Oh.
stare.
Someone
The
said,
cameras
"Stay
are-
off the weed."
Unfortunately, the camera. Oh no! Fortunately,
Bring
the
to
cameras are not
Pain
on
said
me and Zack.
67 steps is very helpful. Well, thank you, 67
Yeah.
steps.
We're coming up with the Spanish version.
By the way, soon you'll be able to go to tailopez.com/brain. It's not quite up yet. And you'll be able to buy this brain supplement. And we also have a separate, I invested in
Hey.
Harman company. We also have Omega 67. We've got a fish oil. So probably by the time you're listening to this podcast,
Show them.
tailopez.com/brain. No, I don't want to show them because on the live they'll start shake it so they can hear it. Yeah.
Those are just
So
Mexican
these are
names.
nootropics, and the brain pill that.
Actually, I'll do a giveaway. I'll do a giveaway.
Okay, we can give away some brain pills. Good idea.
I'll do a give.
Let's give away a mentor box.
But they gotta follow
Can
me.
you
not
grab
Ty. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's give away some brain pills, and there's a mentor box over there. I'm gonna give away. These are different companies that I'm an investor or co-owner in, so
Sorry.
But wait,
I can give these to you.
I'm dictating the brain one.
Kate,
They
what
have to
was
follow
that?
me- They have to follow me on
It was a
Instagram.
splat, but I'm sorry. These things
That
are
does
very
not sound like. Do the splat again, Kate. Oh God, that sounds like. Hey, every time someone has a shitty idea, I want you to play that. Wait, Kate, I gotta Snapchat this. Hold on, look this way. Kate is running. Wait. Kate is running the sound effects for my podcast radio show. Every time someone has a shitty idea, what's the sound you're gonna make, Kate? Oh, what's this? It called splat?
splat. I'm still getting used to all these.
Come on, give me one more for Snapchat.
Okay.
How was that a good one?
That's the one you went with? That's your choice?
Kate, give it
There's
a one.
100 on that app to choose
There's,
from.
I
a
know
good
there's
one.
so many. Okay, let's try some.
That one's all
That
right.
makes me hungry.
I'm gonna do that one when somebody's boring me. I'm gonna just pretend like I'm eating chips. That sound. What is the sound effect app, Zach? So people can download it. What's it
that
called?
one
100 buttons.
100 buttons.
100 buttons. Download it.
App.
Mess with your friend's brain. Leave them voice memos with that.
It's not a paid advertisement.
Okay, let's give away a mentor box. Mentor box. I'm gonna give you a free 1 month.
Careful with Kate's face.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought it was the.
Mentor Box is a company that I co-founded. My business partner, Alex. One person is
Did
going
y'all
to get this.
mean to make the box have it upside down?
Yes,
Lettering?
because then in the mirror. So this is the right way. So Mentor Box, it gives you 2 books, 1 or 2 books. I'm not sure what we're doing now. I think we might have switched to 1 with study guides to speed read through the books.
That's the medium.
You're gonna
size
get the
box,
next.
right?
The M is for Mentor Box.
I'm giving up the job.
Okay, here's how you win one. What is the author of the book that I've been talking about? What is his full name? Ready, set, go. This book right here.
That's a good.
I said it early on. Who's listening? There we go.
Yep,
Kyle
that's
Scott
It's quick.
on YouTube is the winner. Ken
That's the
Fisher
other one you got really good.
with Beat the Crowd. We will be mailing you one. Make sure, Alec, can you tell that to Alex Mayer? Mentor Box. If you want to get your own version of Mentor Box, we also have a digital version. Check out mentorbox.com. It is a badass company. I started with Alex Mayer in October, and it's now the largest book shipping company in the world. We got interviews with, the top authors in the world. We're making it easier to read. So you don't have to read long books. We're shortening them for you and summarizing. You want to be smart? You want to be smart like Zack with his sound effect skills? Okay,
Wait, that one.
we're going to do a giveaway.
Yeah, but they have to follow me. Thank you very much.
All right, Harman wants followers. So we're going to be giving away some brain
Hey, you want to?
neuro
Adrian.
67
Yo.
supplements.
So what do you do? Like the first person that follows or something?
No, here's what we do.
The 100th person.
What's your Instagram again?
Dr. Fresco.
All right,
All spelled out.
the word doctor.
Yes.
So right now, in a minute, we're gonna pick a winner who gets a free Neuro 67 bottle,
We could do
2 bottles.
2 bottles and.
Here, hand it to me.
These two.
Here, just stay there. Show them.
You get 2 Neuro 67 cognitive enhancers and an Omega 67 oil, Omega 3 fatty acids. Also, good for your brain.
Okay. So we're gonna send this whole kit, okay, to one person who follows Dr. Fresco. DOCTORFRESCO. Dr. Fresco. All right. So follow him and then like and comment on one of his Instagram
Don't
posts.
be unfollowing me afterwards.
Yeah, everybody
Little
to
cheaters.
follow and then instantly unfollow. Are you getting follows?
Good
It's
gracious.
crazy.
Let me see. Dr. Fresco.
Wow.
Here, show him.
Ooh.
Turn.
All right. He is getting followers. It's pouring in the alerts. One of you will be the lucky winner. Does it send to Australia? We can ship to most countries. Yep.
Yeah, I'll personally ship
So
it.
we just had Omar Romero, OG King, Sasha Jani, Brand Nee, Omar X, Alex Varga, Sasha. Oh, I already said that one. OG Chase. You need to follow, like, and comment. 19 Squishy 97, computer cleaning duster started following you. Some of these YouTube names, guys, don't put underscores in your damn usernames. I'm telling you, little trick. This guy's one is OG underscore kings underscore monies underscore. That is the worst. You're not gonna grow.
I think something was stuck on his keypad when he was creating.
19 Squishy 97, Nico underscore W58. Guys, see if you can change your username. Just have one word. It could be a compilation of words. Don't have underscores. I'm trying to help you out. All right, we're gonna do this a couple more minutes. Follow Dr. Fresco, and then instantly unfollow. No, I'm joking. Don't unfollow. He'll be
following
butthurt.
me.
He'll be
I'm a
butthurt.
Leo.
Ty, is your Millionaire Mentor program still open? No, you missed it. Some of you missed it. Ty, talk about PewDiePie. Well, PewDiePie is a huge YouTuber from Sweden. Makes a lot of money. That's about the extent. I don't know too much more about him, but I know he's killed this YouTube game.
Someone said, Kate, show us your feet.
I know.
I
Those
bet that was
weird
Quentin
guys.
Tarantino.
I actually got a
There's-
pedicure, so they're looking good.
Kate makes Ty smile so big, I love it. Is that true?
Debatable.
Sometimes. Sometimes it's the opposite. Too much sauce. Okay, let's keep talking. We talked about banking. We talked about Bitcoin. We talked about the brain. We talked about wine. Should you drink it? Should you not? We talked about, what else did we talk about? We talked about trauma, what it does to your brain. We talked about the Rothschilds. We talked about long-term capital management. You guys have been learning a lot of shit. I'm teaching you everything that they should have taught us in school. Literally, there's not one class that I had, maybe you went to a different kind of school, that really taught me about this stuff. Ty, are stocks worth investing in? If you know what you're doing, they can be your best investment. If you don't, you'll go broke. Many people have lost money, a lot of money in the stock market. And many people, in fact, the record for somebody who traded stocks, now he was a hedge fund manager, so he didn't just trade his own stocks, he traded stocks for other people. I'm gonna do a little competition here. We're gonna give away $100 to someone who names this guy. Okay? Names this guy. This was a hedge fund guy. And while we're waiting on the Harman Prize, this is about 10 years ago, he made a massive amount of money because the way hedge funds work is basically he got 20% of the profit he makes other people as the hedge fund manager. And so his pay in 1 year, okay, he was paid this amount of money. Let me see. I want to see what year it was in. This is just going to blow your mind because you know how people talk about CEOs and all this and blah, 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 blah. Let me just put in here. Well, CEOs don't make shit compared to traders. Not traders, traders. Guys who trade in the stock market, particularly hedge funds. They run these funds, they manage money for other people, usually rich people. Regular people can't put their money in most hedge funds because they'll have a minimum, you have to be an accredited investor, $1 million. Somebody said Bernie Madoff. No, not Bernie Madoff, because, yeah. There you go for that person. Thank you, Zack. Zack on the sound. I'm just pulling up the year. Damn it, why can't I find it? Well, Ray Dalio's on there, but that's not the answer that you're gonna win with. Crazy thing is, well, I won't say this actually. All right, here we go. Here we go. Rapa-dee-pa-dee. Zach, entertain for a second. I need you. Zach and Harman.
In your face, sucker!
Let's actually have Kate. Kate, you answer some questions. You entertain while I did it.
All right, I'm taking questions, guys.
That's a good sound. I like that you gave her the
Ice cream truck.
for all the perverts. Is that why?
Why do you think about that?
Ah, that's so funny.
I'm not getting any questions.
You're not getting any questions?
Brain questions?
Wait, the Instagram. You just have to go like this. There you go. There you go.
My
Now-
favorite makeup brand, I got that one. Well, I actually don't wear very expensive makeup. I just go to Sephora and I'll just buy anything cheap, honestly. I don't really. I'm not
Kate's not super high maintenance.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not all. I wouldn't spend like $60 on MAC and stuff. Like, I just can't. I can't do that.
All right, what else? I hope someone else has
Am I married? No, I am not married.
Why would? What's wrong with people?
Well, I've been married. I'm 21, so
Married to Ty.
I'm a little young to be married, in my opinion.
21. You're very fertile at that age.
Zach,
That one.
what? Herman keeps bringing up fertile.
Not kids anytime soon. I want to be.
Herman is
financially
creeping me
stable.
out.
The last book I read,
Was that for me, Zach?
Focus.
America's
I don't know
Most
who it's
Wanted.
by.
Daniel Goleman. She's reading a book. One of my
I'm trying
books.
to focus more because apparently I don't know, scatterbrained or whatever.
Kate is a little scatterbrained. Yes.
Just a little bit, but I'm working on it.
Somebody said, "Why is the podcast on so late?" My guess is you're in another time zone. So for some people, it's early.
Guarantee you.
Am I Russian? No. I'm Norwegian. And something else.
What is your best asset, Kate? What would you
My
say?
best asset.
Face. Kate has a good face.
No, not my face.
No? Your heart.
Where they're talking about physical.
Nobody ever likes her
Your
best.
mind.
They're talking about their
Oh,
physical.
physical features?
Yeah. They don't care
Your
about
eyes.
My eyes,
She
I
has-
guess. They're just blue, but. I
Now,
don't
Kate
know.
has a good face. She has a very symmetrical.
What are some of your interests?
My interests.
Zach, are you reading these or making these up on your own?
No, I thought of that question on my
How
own.
tall am I? 5'6" and 3/4.
Zach goes, I thought of that. It was some profound question. It was, what are your interests? Hey, I read it for all you guys trying to date girls off Tinder and all this stuff or wherever you meet them.
I love football. Oh, sorry. I was answering a question.
I love Lamp. A date where the guy asks the most questions. They eavesdropped on a whole bunch of dates. When the guy asks a ton of questions, inevitably it's a bad date and he doesn't get a second date. So be very careful about going on a date and asking them lots of questions.
Oh yeah, that's such
It should
a
just
dumb
be
move.
conversational.
Well, you know what happened with that one?
What?
They probably heard that advice of like, let them talk. You know, you listen, and they're probably like asking a million questions. They want them to talk,
Trying
but
to
then they
get
got annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say it's better, and
You
this
can't.
study said it's better to just have a free-flowing conversation. Somebody said girls love talking. Kate is pretty laid back compared to Ty. Is that true? I don't
I'm
know.
pretty chill.
Kate's not
You're both
totally
alright,
chill.
they- Yeah, I think
Okay.
you're both chill.
You're just more outgoing, more talkative. I'm just.
No, Kate does talk. She's shy on camera. We went to the Playboy Mansion yesterday. She doesn't talk to strangers.
It takes me a second to.
Especially when they're naked.
There are so many naked girls. just
Zach was
running
macking on some naked Playboy chicks.
Well, they were fans. Wanted
They were
photos.
fans?
Yeah.
They actually weren't even for Playboy. They just took off their clothes when they saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah. they were over there having some drinks and told their friend, "Hold this." And they disrobed and came over.
All right, let's pick the winner. Okay, by the way, we got two winners.
Wait for what?
What hedge fund manager made $1.3 billion? That was his pay in 2014. He was paid 1.3. Imagine your salary is $1,000 million. His was $1,300 million. Ray Dalio, no, close. That's this guy, by the way.
Okay.
So if you see that name, that's it. There we go. Richard Colbraith. It's Ken Griffin. So this all started, somebody asked me the question, can you make money trading stocks? And the answer is, if you trade them for your own account, like your own 401k, you can grow your money at a reasonable pace, but you're not going to get rich usually off doing that unless you take tremendous risk. And then sometimes you take tremendous risk, you lose it all. So the people that make the most money, if you're interested in the stock market, my advice to you is reprogram your brain to become an expert on everything related to the markets. And that's, don't just pick one thing. Don't just become an expert at Forex. Don't just become an expert at commodities. Don't just become an expert at day trading. You want to have a broad understanding. You can specialize later, but you need to understand commodities. You need to understand, the Hang Seng market. You need to understand the Tokyo. You need to understand Germany. India has a big stock exchange now. Okay? 1.3 billion was his pay. Let me just put that in perspective. If he paid himself out monthly, which he didn't, but let's just say he had a paycheck. You know how you get your paycheck every 2 weeks? His paycheck, okay, is 50 divided by 13, or 1,300 divided by 52 weeks. Let's just call it 50 weeks. So what is that?
You asking me?
Yeah.
What was the math again?
50 weeks.
50 divided by 1,300?
$1,300 million divided by 50 weeks. 1,300 divided by 50, Harman.
It's like 400,000? About?
26.
Okay.
Wait.
So he roughly paid himself, how much per week? Oh, we got to divide it in half because it's every other week. So, sorry, 25.
Divided by 25?
1,300 divided by 25 is, you can do the math, 4 times 13.
So it's 26, 52.
So he got paid $52 million a paycheck. So people talk about, oh, LeBron makes a lot. Oh, Ronaldo makes a lot. Oh, Messi makes a lot. Oh, no, nobody makes money like these hedge fund guys. Imagine every 2 weeks, your paycheck was 52. Now, they would take taxes out, but did you know that hedge fund guys have a special tax break in the U.S. government? It's called carry. It's a tax. Their income is not called a paycheck. It's called carry, okay? C-A-R-R-Y. So they only pay, capital gains rate, so 15%. So that means his check was 50 million every 2 weeks minus 15%. So what's 15% of 50? Minus $7 million or so. So let's just say roughly he got paid $40 million after tax every 2 damn weeks. For all of you trying to work harder, are you also working smarter? You got to ask yourself that. Some people are like, Tai, I'm just going to work hard and everything's going to work out. That's Zack's way. Let me Snapchat this. We're just talking about Ken Griffin, who was a hedge fund manager. He made 1.3 billion was his pay in 1 year. People think CEOs, they think Ronaldo makes money, they think LeBron James make money. This guy made $50 million per paycheck. Imagine every 2 weeks for a year you got paid $50 million. So those of you ask me, can you make money in the stock market? Can you make money in Bitcoin? If you're an expert, you can make money managing other people's money. That's what he did. So be careful of oversimplified answers. You're not going to make $50 million probably investing $100 in Bitcoin. It's not realistic. But if you're starting out without much money, you can go learn how to manage other people's money. It's a huge profession, wealth management. And, if you get to the upper levels, you run your own hedge fund. There was a guy at my house on Snapchat the other day. He ran a $350 million, which is much smaller, but still, he managed, $250 million or $1/3 billion. So that's my answer, long answer. The reason you must reprogram your brain, by the way, I want you guys to catch the vision, is that there's amazing upside potential for each of you. Someone say, can they get a yeehaw, Zack?
I'll try.
And my Snapchat froze, so let's see if this bad boy comes around. Let me close my other apps. What?
I hit it by mistake. Scrolling through.
Zach is struggling with the sound app. Okay, we're about to wrap up here, but I want to do one final thing. We got to do Harman. We'll do that last, Harman. We got to go. We have a laptop to give away too. What's that? Yodeling? That's cool. Any other questions? Someone, Bitcoin is the future. Someone said, look at her. Someone said, is there a Kamehameha song? What is that? Kate is a baddie.
I'm hungry.
Dude, how you get so rich? Someone just wrote Ben Bernanke. That's all they wrote. I like people that just write one word things, Zach, like that. As if I'm supposed to. Ben Bernanke. Okay. Tai, you inspired me to sell Forex signals. What would you do with a paid off home given to you by a family member investment wise? Probably your best thing you could do if you inherit a home, in my opinion. Now, I don't know your whole situation, so you might have debt, other places, but in general, best thing you can do with an asset is ask it to make you money every month. So probably if I had a paid off home, I would look at how much it's appreciated and what my tax bracket would be. So potentially you sell the home, because it depends. Sometimes if the person dies, there's different things that happen tax wise. Sometimes you can get what's called a step up in basis, which means if somebody gives you $1 million or $500,000 home and their basis was, that it steps up, meaning when you sell it, you don't have to pay much taxes. Sometimes, if someone gives you a $500,000 home and you sell it, you got to pay taxes on the whole $500,000. And if you haven't had the money long enough in your bank account, if you hadn't had the asset long enough in your name, you might not get capital gains. So it's complicated. But the safer thing to do is rent it out. Renting out is a great thing to do, because then if you got an asset, it's making you money. The most important thing maybe that I should impart to you on this whole talk about rewiring your brain on today's podcast is you must have the ability to generate cash flow, because every single day you incur expenses. Unless you're growing your own food, unless you are making your own clothing here. Kate's, what are you wearing, Kate? What do we got?
A backless shirt.
She got a backless shirt and jean shorts. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're gonna be buying stuff. And so if you don't have recurring income to offset that, you're in trouble. So with real estate, there's people who like to flip homes. The only problem with flipping a home is once you flip it, the income stops. You earned it all. And inevitably, what do we do when we earn money? We usually spend it. So if you gave me a choice between a career where I just flipped properties for 20 years, or flipped businesses, or flipped stocks, day trading, that's a lot of work versus building long-term assets. Now look, if you got a house, you might only be able to rent it out for $2,000 a month. So it's not that much, right? It's $2,000 a month. Okay, that's kind of a bitch, because if it's $2,000 a month, you could sell it for $500,000. But what if you use that house as collateral to buy another house? Since you own it paid off, you might be able to go to the bank, you pledge the home you own as collateral. They let you buy another one. So now you buy another home that's making you $2,000 a month. Now, possibly, if there's enough equity in the first home, you can pledge it for 2 homes. So you could turn one gift, this person who asked me, I think it was on Facebook, you could conceivably turn that into 3 homes. And if they each average $2,000, you now have a $6,000 a month revenue stream. Now, the second 2 homes you got, if you pledged that home, you're gonna have some mortgage payments. So let's say your mortgage payments are $3,000. So your net cash flow is $3,000. But now you also control 3 properties, which if you buy in the right place, and I recommend to do this, that you don't buy condos or anything weird like that. You buy either single family homes, duplexes, fourplexes, or even apartment buildings. If you do that, now you got 3 properties that while you sleep, are slowly going up in value. 3%. Real estate on average goes up 3 to 6% when you take out the leverage aspect. So 3 to 6%. Now it's gone up. 3% means every 25 years it doubles in value without you doing just sleeping. 6% means every 12 years it doubles in value. Plus, you're making $3,000 a month. What would you do right now if you knew you could go to sleep and no matter what, you'd make $3,000 or $4,000 a month from homes? That's the power of one gift. Let me tell you what most people do when they inherit a damn house. What do most people do, Harman? Because yeah, but like specifically, what's a stupid thing you could imagine somebody?
Buy a car.
Yeah.
A cool car, or yeah.
Cocaine and whores.
Is that what you would do, Zack?
No, I'm just speaking about the white trash and the people we've been discussing.
Hey,
Yeah.
so I was
luxury goods.
I was in Europe this year, and a guy inherited. A girl was telling me that her friend inherited $8 million, and he spent it all in 1 year.
Oh my god.
He has none left. He took his friends partying. He like got ripped off for like $1 million. You know, somebody said invest in my business. He has like she says she has like $100,000 left.
You know, isn't there a statistic where the people that win the lottery and
Yeah.
whatnot, most of them just
The average NFL player that plays the average athlete, it's worse. It used to be worse. Now it's better. But the average pro football player, they used to stand. NFL standard not for long, meaning you ain't gonna be rich for long. Average pro soccer player, pro football player, like playing, they ain't making that much money. Ronaldo makes money, but most of these guys are making. What do you think in the U.S., the MLS?
I think the top player makes about $4 million.
But that means there's a lot of guys making like $150,000.
Oh yeah.
So sports is danger. Lottery. The average person who wins the lottery, because they didn't reprogram their brain first, has, I think, 5 years till they lose all of it. There they go. That's what the average person does with it.
Yeah, it's true.
Someone said Zack is trying too hard.
Oh, whatever.
So I think it's very important that you take away from this. Reprogram your brain. Think differently. Just because everybody's excited about Bitcoin doesn't mean you should or shouldn't. Don't get caught up. Yesterday's podcast, we talked about the Wharton book on decision making, which said the average person, the more difficult the decision, the more they inject emotion into it. Isn't that weird, Harman? More people put emotion into hard decisions when it should be the opposite. When it's a decision that doesn't matter, go with your heart. If somebody's like, what movie do you want to see? Annabelle or Wonder Woman? My heart would be like, Annabelle. Okay, so just go fucking see Annabelle. Just go with your emotions there. It doesn't matter if you're wrong. But a lot of people, when it comes to big decisions, they start injecting more and more emotion. You can't be that way.
Here's what most people don't know, and it is that 95% of the decisions you make every day are emotion based.
Yes.
But you know how people say, oh, I'm so rational on this. I'm like, no, you're not. 95% of everything you decided wasn't emotion based. And pattern seeking and past experiences is also what causes that decision making process, which is insane, because then that's what happens. Most people end up deciding things just because of how they feel or whatever they, It's when people decide to buy a Ferrari or whatever. Somebody might say, I can't justify it by any means on my imagination. No matter how much money I have, I will not buy a Ferrari. But then the other person right next to them might be like, oh, I can totally justify it. Both of them are emotionally content-based decisions.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
But these guys that make more money, these men and women making more money, have the ability to be more rational with their damn decisions.
Yes.
Now,
now that we're talking about this, you point the camera here. I want to recommend this book for people. This book is a great book about, it talks a lot about mistakes we make with our brain and how to influence and cognitive biases. There's other books like it, but what I'm trying to say is the decisions you make are affected by a lot of and Tai has talked about cognitive bias many, many times. the more you understand how they work, the more you know about them, the more likely or the less likely you're going to commit the mistake of falling upon those cognitive biases. Influence is a great book. I'm not endorsing anything. I don't make money from this book. I just like this author. He actually came out with another book, Influenced, I think it's, or
he just added a letter.
Persuasion.
Persuasion, yeah.
Persuasion.
Persuasion, yeah. So he has influence, persuasion, and persuasion. Those are the kind. Ty's talking a lot about changing mindsets and to make more money. If you understand the farts, I call them brain farts. The brain farts that you make, when you make decisions, you're.
I'm done trying to scroll through this. Every time I try to scroll to get one,
Zach was trying to do a fart sound, and he did like
we'll wait
the
for your fart
Lord of the
sound.
Flies
No,
horn.
I'm sorry.
Was that the Lord of the Flies horn?
It was some Viking mess, but you can't scroll through without hitting it.
Just put the fart. There you go.
Was that a fart?
Sorry to mess
Yeah,
that up.
brain farts right there. So that's what you want. You want to understand the mistakes your brain makes, and you can only understand them if you study those things. If you say, okay, I can make this mistakes like this or like that.
And you can learn. That book talks about the cognitive biases. There's things that make you make mistakes.
There's
Marketing.
hundreds of cognitive biases. There's about 20 that are the most important and most common, but there's over 100 cognitive biases that have been, discovered, you could say, or
Yeah, there's cognitive biases: Kantian fairness, reciprocity, urgency, liking, disliking biases, Pavlovian responses, association biases, availability biases. There's senescence biases, chemical biases, reward biases, pain biases.
Tai Lopez biases, all kinds of biases.
Tai Lopez, no. There's no one named after me yet. Tai, will you review my website? What's your website? Let's do that. Someone said, who's that woman and why is she so bored? I told you, Kate, people judge on the outside. Kate's just been introduced to this world. We have 4,000 virgins watching right now, Kate, that have never seen a pretty woman. And so they're going to psychoanalyze every single part of you. Trust me. Trust me.
What's she looking at? What's she looking at now?
Yeah. Some people were counting how often you blinked.
Yeah, to me that's
weird.
crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
But it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that
What?
people are just.
Dude, one thing I've learned I got into social media about 2 years ago, really the end of 2014, beginning of 2015. And the number one thing I have learned is, oh man, this world. Let me just have one last straight talk with you. Here's a big problem. The bigger the population gets, even if the percentage of morons, idiots, and psychopaths doesn't increase, just the same percentage. Let's just say 1% of people are horrible people. It's a higher number than that, but trust me. You can even Google it. 1% of the world is psychopaths, clinical psychopaths. So let's just keep it at that, even though there's other bad things, Machiavellianism, low K factor, high R factor, all this stuff. Let's just say psychopath. So 1 out of 100 people you meet is literally one of the worst people. I mean, they will fuck. If they could stab you in the back, if they could steal your money, the only thing keeping them from doing it is they don't know your bank login, and they might be worried about the police. Probably not. Psychopaths usually underestimate risks and overestimate rewards. So 1%. Now, in the year 1900, there was about 1 billion people on the planet. So what's 1% of a billion? The answer is 10 million. Okay?
Now there's 6.
So in the year 1900, my grandma was born in 1917. So around when my grandma was born, she's still alive, she's 99, there was only 10 million psychopaths. That's a lot, but most of them didn't have technology, they didn't have power. A few of them rose to power. Joseph Stalin was one. Mao Zedong was born in the 1800s. So was Adolf Hitler. So was Joseph Stalin. The Khmer Rouge in Cambodia, another source of genocide. So now we'll just take 4 dictators, okay? Mussolini was another one in Italy. So you got Pol Pot in Cambodia. What was the guy in Yugoslavia had another one? So these guys were born at this time we're talking about, late 1800s, so on. So, 10 million psychopaths. Now, 7 billion, we're almost at 8 billion humans. So let's say we've 7x'd or 8x. Now there's 80 million psychopaths. And you know the difference? Now they can reach you. They can reach your damn Instagram. They can reach your YouTube. They can reach your Facebook. They can potentially take a car and start running people over like they did in Charlottesville. They can get on an airplane with razor blades. That's all those guys had. And they can drive a plane like 9/11 into a tower that disrupts world economies for at least 5 to 10 years. The repercussions. I mean, it was not until 2000. It was a big deal if you look at what 9/11 did. You can have people blow themselves. So this is what I've learned from social media, and there's at least 80 million horrible people on this planet. Horrible.
And that's just the horrible. Think of all the people that just take their time to click dislike on a video, or make.
What's the one about?
Wait a minute, you're not comparing
What?
people clicking dislike with horrible people.
No, what I'm
No,
trying
but
to
for
say
no
is that
reason.
People, I've never in my life disliked the video.
Yeah,
I've watched many. It's like if I don't like it, I don't like it. I
You just
wanna
change
waste-
it. When I don't like, I dislike my movie.
Yeah.
No, but what was the one about
Or making bad
Beethoven?
comments.
Somebody was there. If you look on like one of
Yeah,
Beethoven's
Fifth
Beethoven's
Symphony.
Fifth Symphony, there's
1,000?
dislikes. There's
Really?
1,000.
It's like a-
Somebody thought that's not very good music. It's like the greatest musicians
Yeah,
of
that's
all
what
time.
I mean. And I 100% agree that not everybody should like Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, but to take the time to go actually have an account, be logged in, to actually say I dislike this, and the worst,
Look it up.
Yeah, to look it up
and
make this-
worse is make comments. Make negative comments about it. Oh, this music sucks. I'm like, who cares? It's like, what's the point? That's why all these people.
I
are
told
not
you,
making
people are
money.
bitches of their own brain.
Yeah.
Half the people watching this right now and listening to it, not to insult you, but this will be insulting. You are bitches of your own brain. If you grew up with mommy and daddy who are mean, you'll be fucking mean because you're a bitch of your brain. That's my whole point.
Yeah.
If you were born white trash, if you're born in the ghetto, most people have cyclical generational ignorance, generational poverty. People don't grow out. You got to grow up, man.
How many times you make a bad comment on a video? Never.
Herman is still on this video comment thing.
It's because it just boggles my mind that people take their time to do stuff like that. Even if many times have you ever written bad comments on videos?
No comment.
Oh God.
You have, Zach. Are
No,
you one of
no,
those
no.
that waste your time
No.
disliking and?
I used to get into debates.
No,
No,
go
but
on
that's
Twitter.
different.
Go on Twitter. This is what
Debating
you
is
want to do.
different.
You go on Twitter and you look at the hashtags.
I've made comments on stuff that somebody might have asked a question or somebody might say something. I'm like, no, I don't think this is correct.
No, I know.
3 people
but I
dead
don't know
after
what you're
shooter opened fires at Great Lakes Dragaway. There you go. Somebody opened fire. We got.
Oh, dude, look at what's happening with
Let's see.
Venezuela.
Yeah, look at Venezuela. This country's still got dictators. You got people starving to death. Nobody can fix it. They can't fix it in their own country. No other Latin American country can help them. I mean, yes. So let me end by saying this on a good note. Every person on this call, your main obstacle in life is between your own damn ears. Period. It's between your own ears. So at the end of the day, Donald Trump will then have shit to do with your life, and either does Kim Jong-un, unless there's literally nuclear holocaust that will affect us all. But for the most part, you will create your own holocaust or your own paradise in between your ears. It will not be the Rothschilds or the price of Bitcoin or the price of the federal discount rate that changes your income. It is your ability to think. So Harman just gave some simple heuristics. Heuristics are a scientific way of saying decision making. For those of you who are always skeptical, cynical. That's called Machiavellianism. It means your brain's fucked. Period. That's what a smart person will tell you. Your mommy didn't tell you that, but I ain't your mommy. It's a classic disorder. Yes. Hyper cynical people are considered Machiavellian. There's a test you could do. It's called the Dark Triad test. You can do the Hexaco test, the Big Five test. There's many tests. There's a scale of psychopathy and things like that. So if that's you, you better fix it, because there's tremendous penalties for it at everybody, at every level, financially, emotionally, physically. Machiavellian people suck. They always have. They always will. And there's probably about 20% of the world is Machiavellian. 1% of the world's psychotic, about 20% or more is Machiavellian. So if that's you and you get that ultimate cynical thing and you see conspiracies everywhere and you think that this, and you go, oh man, it's the Rothschilds running the government, it's the Federal Reserve, everybody's out to get me. If you think everything in this world is somehow affecting you, you might also have what's called narcissism. So my advice to most people is, look, at the end of the day, keep a very small, tight social circle of trusted people. Read a hell of a lot, but only read the greatest and the smartest, because they will accelerate you to where you want to go the quickest. And that's a key thing. If you want to go on the slow route, then ignore what I'm saying. Make sure that you have a massively efficient daily routine, because there's a lot to do if you want to do big things. A lot to do. And sorry, I'm resetting this. There's a lot to do. So for those of you who have a scattered daily routine, who can't hold consistently to one thing, for those of you that have the rewiring of your brain that everything you should be doing, actually I was talking to Kate about this, if you cannot focus for long periods of time, you in big trouble. Okay? ADD, the level of ADD of the modern world is so high that I got good news for you. It can be very easy for some of you to make $1 million. Very easy, because your competitor cannot sit down and read for 1 hour a day. They're too stupid. They're too ADD. And I'm not even talking about the clinical type of ADD. If that's you, there is no solution for you. Hey, in the future, we should swap these two in the future.
Okay.
Remember to put that one off on the side, because that one's the least
Okay.
important. We have it in like the most important spot where I see it. It really should be like this. Yeah. Twitter is the least important one to focus on. It's got the most idiots and the least amount of people. So somebody said, Scott Taylor said, if you can't stop texting focus for long periods of time, girl stops texting. Irony. Did you stop texting when I said that, Kate?
I wasn't. Yeah, actually.
So, these are if you're in the game of life and after 30 minutes you haven't figured out who the sucker is, you're the sucker. But you're not the sucker in the way that you think you're the sucker. You're not the sucker. No one's out to get you. You'll be your own worst enemy. You don't have to worry about you think the Illuminati's coming to get you. They ain't coming to get you. You think that for the most part, it'll be your close supposed friends and family that will screw you over. A few of them. Most of them won't. A few of them will do it, and they'll cause damage. And then your own brain will cause you the most damage. You will literally... How many people here, real honestly, think that if for 1 year they read books on how to make money or how to be happier or how to start a business, would be worse off in 1 year? Who here thinks they'd be worse off? Anybody that dumb? They think you'd actually be worse off? Well, the question is, why didn't you do that 1 year ago? Did you read a book a week? The average CEO reads a book a week, 50 books a year. Did you read 50 nonfiction books? And the answer is inevitably, of course not. Nobody does. But a few people do. And you want to aspire to be part of the few, not the part of the many. The many are living animal, savage level brains. They're relying on instinct. And so if you have that ability to rise above instinct, then you'll be better than my German Shepherds. My German Shepherds can't make a penny. They don't even know what money is. And that's how a lot of people are. If you don't believe me, talk to your friends about some of the things that we talked about today. Ask your friends what the federal discount rate is. Everybody hears about it in the news almost every day. Fed's cutting the rates. Ask them if they ever could not procrastinate long enough to Google what the federal discount rate is. And you're going to find that not 1 out of 1,000 will. Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett says when they were young and studied money and investing, when they got out in the real world, they were like, this is going to be such a hard game. There's going to be so many smart businessmen starting businesses, and we're going to have to compete with them. And they said, they got out in the world, and they're like, nobody knows what they're doing. In fact, they say now, if it wasn't for the stupidity in the world, they wouldn't be so wealthy. So becoming wealthy is primarily a game of not being stupid. See, people are trying to be super smart. You're either born super smart or you're not. You're not going to increase your IQ no matter what you do, no matter how much brain pills you take, to 170 IQ, period. This is not going to happen. But you can reduce stupidity to a low level. And stupidity is things like highly emotional decisions based off your childhood. That's what it really comes down to. So most of you have highly emotional decisions completely. If a smart psychoanalyst, cognitive scientist came in, you're so predictable. Generational wealth. I bet you that almost everybody in your family makes about the same income. Why is that? Different people, different personalities, different aptitudes. Why is it? Because people can't rise above the emotion of copying other people. Animal savage level. The average person probably reads about as much books as their parents read. How many books do your parents read? That's probably how many you read. What religion are you? Let me guess. It's your parents' religion. Ooh, so original of you. You're such a great free thinker. What political party are you? Oh, let me guess. It's your parents. Oh, okay. I don't know how I got that. Your value system? Oh, let me guess. It's almost like if you're born Muslim, you got Muslim values. If you're born Buddhist, you got Buddhist. Oh, that is so genius of you. You have been able to rise above your animal, savage instincts. You are, this world, let me actually correct everything I said and just say how astonished I am that most Latin Americans are Catholic. Oh, how did you pull that off? Oh, the whole country's Catholic and you are too? Oh boy, you know how to go against the crowd, don't you? It kills me. It literally kills me. That's this world we live in. So the good news is,
But that's good. Yeah.
if you're a free thinker, you got no competition. You don't. That's what Warren Buffett found. The amount of times my life has been hampered by competition is zero. I can't remember a time when I'm like, you know what's messing up my business? Someone else launched a business. Never. That's my answer. I see people being like, Ty, I got a business idea, but I can't tell it to you because you might steal it. I won't steal your idea. Yeah, I've never stolen someone else. I don't need your ideas. People are so narcissistic, they think that people need their ideas. Shit, I got a bank of 50 badass ideas that I don't have time to do. So, you gonna go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Thanks. Keep the mic on while you go to the bathroom, Kate.
Okay, I'll bring it with me.
No, do not. So at the end of the day, I hope each of you becomes a free thinker. You don't need to rebel against your parents just to rebel against them. So obviously sometimes if your parents are a certain religion or something, you can follow in the same footsteps. But your life should not be a rote carbon copy of your parents and your grandparents and even your country or your city. Where's the visionaries on this? Where are the visionaries? That's what I'd like to find. Where's the visionaries in this damn world? You know, that's the ones who are gonna change the world. And I'll tell you this thing: most of the world is changed by like 10,000 people. Basically, everything you use and enjoy in this whole damn world, maybe 10,000 is low. 100,000 people do everything good in the world. Who do you think invented Facebook? The masses? Trillion? Who do you think made wireless that you're watching this on, or the internet? Million people? Shit, he's a few people. Who do you think comes up with all? If you hurt yourself or get sick, you have cancer, how many people do you think contribute to the medical knowledge base, the vast base of knowledge we have to help people? You think it's some big group of people? You think it's your next door neighbor? No, it's a few people who are visionaries, like Steve Jobs was, like Elon Musk is. Elon Musk alone is now built a car company that's more valuable than all of Ford. Ford is a 100-year-old business. And Elon Musk, one visionary person who thinks outside the box, built something that a whole set of corporations with 100,000 employees. One is greater than 100,000 in that case. And it happens over and over. So you're not going to necessarily do it completely alone. That's why I said you will need a social circle. You'll probably need some business partners, but you don't need that many. Okay? So someone said China is becoming the smartest country. Maybe. America still has the most innovation right now. America still has a free thinking. China has very technical skills, so there's a lot of better mathematicians and engineers, but not caught up to us yet in free thinking. I mean, how could you, your country has no free thinking. You can't go on Instagram. It still blows my mind that China is trying to block stuff. That's not gonna last forever. Once these next generation hacker
What's
kids,
interesting, they have their own. So
I
they
know.
create their own. Like
Yes.
Baidu, I think is their.
yeah,
Facebook.
Baidu, they got a few. Anyway, all right, we're gonna. Someone said China smells funny. Okay,
You're gonna give these out.
let's give out the neuro and the laptop. All right, Harman, pick somebody.
Wait, how do I pick? I've never done your. Just randomly?
Yeah, give it to. Tell Kate. Kate will tell you
Kate,
1,
come
2,
here.
3. Who's gonna win
Wait,
the bottles and the Omega
So I just-
67?
Pick a
in the comments?
Just
No,
followers.
go to, no, go back.
Go back?
Heart.
Heart.
Yeah, there you go. Just,
And then just start scrolling.
there you go.
All right.
All right.
I'm just gonna scroll, and you're gonna say stop.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Stop.
3. Who is it?
Sasha.
Is it a
Jet-
comment? No, you gotta look at comments on your most recent post.
I was going to. And
Oh,
then-
I'm sorry.
Because you need to reply to it, or
Oh,
else
okay.
people.
Okay. I'm
There's
doing it
cynical
again.
people in the world that'll think you didn't pick somebody. So you need to reply on your Instagram
Okay, hold on. Let me
publicly.
load all the comments from this.
Okay,
Everybody
ready,
posted on
set,
the same spot.
go.
Wait, not yet.
Herman's making this too
Give
complicated.
me. No.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. All right, ready?
1, 2, 3. Stop.
Chris718.
Chris 718, reply to it. Say you won. Just press reply to the comment. Chris 718, you have won a pack of Neuro 67 with Omega 67. Okay, did we give away the Mentor box?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Let's do the laptop. Who wants a laptop? Laptop. Drop top. Herman, name this rap lyrics. Drop top. That's all I'm gonna tell you. That should be all you need. Don't say it, Kate.
Drop top.
Yeah. What modern hit rap song is that from?
I'm not saying anything.
What artist did that?
Eminem.
Oh
Em-
my
Eminem?
gosh, no.
Okay.
the
And
only
what did
rapper I know.
what do you say, Zach?
Oh, I have no idea.
Zach.
Ask.
I don't.
Ask the
Who can
viewers.
answer what is
Kate, what band is that? I mean, what group is
Kendrick
that?
Lamar.
No. Zach only knows one rapper.
Coolio.
You like me? I thought you knew more about rap. Zach.
Run.
Drop top.
Run. DMC.
No.
Beastie Boys.
What is it, Kate?
Hold on. I feel like I just lost it now.
Kate.
Biggie.
Migos.
Migos.
Everyone's like, Migos.
That was my next guess.
That was my first.
How does the whole thing go? Drop top. It's like raindrop, drop top, on the hot box, something like
I
that.
thought that. I don't know.
Yeah, she's a thought. Herman, what is a thought?
A thought?
Not, but THOT. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna bring intellectual people on and ask them, ask them urban vocabulary terms. Thought. No, don't look it up.
No.
Oh, he cheated. I saw
No,
that.
I didn't. I was.
He was on Instagram.
Yeah, I was on Instagram.
Thought.
He was admiring all his new followers.
No, I was texting the
Did
guy
you get
that
a lot?
won. Like.
What is it?
Like 400.
Follow Dr.
Thought
Fresco.
is a what?
A thought.
A girl is a thought if she does what?
She's a loose woman.
If she's fat.
He said if
No.
she's fat. No.
No.
A thought. It stands for that hoe over there. It's like a
Oh,
hoe. So if you're
that
dating a girl and she's a thought, it's the kind of girl you can't trust. By the way, I read in an evolutionary psychology textbook today, the number one trait men in every society on planet Earth treasure above all things in a girl they would marry or date is what? Loyalty.
You didn't give us any time to guess.
Oh, because I'm giving you that damn answer. Loyalty. So a thought is the opposite. A thought is everything that men from the Ashe tribe in Paraguay to, Moscow, China, United States, everywhere you go. That is what Dr. David Buss's research found, that men it's like 95%.
Did you tell Dr. Buss that Limbaugh had quoted him?
Yes, I did. So, women, I don't know what this means for you, but I do know that it probably means that if a man perceives you to be a thought, a loose woman, you're going to have a hard time having high quality men stick around. They might sleep with you, but they ain't marrying you or dating you. That's what Dr. Buss says. If you want to argue with that and say it's a societal construct, I don't think so, because he studied Scandinavia, which is a much more feminist society, and he found the same results. So, yeah, thoughts are dangerous. Okay, let's do the laptop.
I
Drop top.
asked them, you ready? I'll have a question for you.
Okay.
For the laptop.
Herman, what's some
Herman, okay.
more video
What's your question?
time?
No, you don't need a video.
Okay, what's the
I'll just
question?
ask the question.
The question is,
What is dopamine?
what is dopamine? Let's go, but that's a hard answer. What do we,
Like,
the
do you want
chemical
the-
compound
No,
for it?
no. What is it? Like if you say,
Yeah, but are you going to
What's
come
the-
judge the answers?
oh yeah.
Someone's
I think
saying chemical, a
no.
stimulant.
Someone said
Yeah,
neurotransmitter.
you have to have
No.
like a specific.
Oh, wait. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? What is dopamine? You can't win if you're in this room.
There's two words that I will accept.
Well, are you watching, Herman?
I can't.
Well, I got
you
the
have to come
answer.
over
Someone
here.
had said it.
Oh, somebody said it
Just
already.
use. Oh, someone said that one?
Yeah, someone. That's why I said the
Oh,
word.
here. Where did you capture it already?
Yeah, I captured it.
Well, who was it?
I can show you.
All
I
right,
said the
this
word after.
doesn't count. This is a train wreck. Herman is not allowed to do.
Yeah, that didn't count.
That
because-
doesn't count. Herman picked some vague ass
No.
thing.
They could have said neurotransmitter or
Neurotransmitter.
Here.
No, we're not doing
That
this.
was way too
Oh,
many.
he has it.
Herman, you have to look.
Adrian has it.
No, it's okay.
He had
No.
We're gonna-
Okay. Here we go.
I'll ask another one.
No, Herman is forever forbidden to
You're
do any
You're
questions.
banned from asking questions.
All right, here's my question for you. This will go relatively quick. What was the name of the investment company in 1998 that went broke, that was full of all the genius investors, but they made a mistake? What was their name? It's 4 words. 4 words will win you a laptop, the first person who comes up with it. 4 words. Words. No acronyms. No. Here we go. No, let me see. God, it's hard for me to see these. There we go. Brandon Larson. Someone might have said it earlier, but I couldn't whoever said it, if you said it earlier, it's hard for me to look at 4. Don't worry, I'm not biased. Brendan Carson,
LTCM.
long-term capital management. About 5 people popped it at once, but
That was the first.
wait, what is this you're showing me? No,
That's
that
it.
LTCM is not it. Did you get the branding guy?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
It's
wasn't
Brendan.
it LTCM?
You couldn't
long-term?
say LTCM. I said
Oh, you
no.
can't do the
Yeah.
acronym.
Brandon Larson.
Brandon Larson, congratulations. We going to send you a brand new laptop drop top. Was that Arnold Schwarzenegger? All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, all of you. It was great to have you. We are going to head out. Thank you, Dr. Harman Garcia.
You're welcome.
Fresco. Thank you, Kate.
Do my name.
Thank you.
Garcia Fresco.
And what's the Zack song?
I don't have one of those. It's an instrumental song.
All right. Thank you.
Remember, you are your brain.
It's not out yet. Talk to you guys soon. You can shut this off if you want. Dun, 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 dun. How long was that?